welcome everybody to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve Markey, and always joined by
Charles there.
And welcome back from the West Coast, and our special guest, the Teacher of the Year,
That's debatable.
Heather Markey. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm great.
Now, before we get into things, our traveling compadres here, I want to give out some congratulations this week. First off, the first congratulations goes to Fatima Gutierrez.
Fatima
That's
Gutierrez.
her name. 15 years old, just had her, how you say it, Heather?
Quinceañera.
Quinceañera party.
Quinceañera.
Quince.
Yeah.
All the girls from
Call it
Annapolis were
quince.
dressed up and looked like they were headed to homecoming. Michelle said she told Holly, "You're going to go to homecoming because I paid $200 for that dress."
Oh,
No
she's
pressure
not
to
going to let
find
her
a
get a
date.
new one? Oh, you still get a new one.
A funny side
You
note.
wore the same dress a couple times.
I only wore
That
your
green one.
Yeah, but I wore it for your prom, and then I wore it the following year to ride in the homecoming parade. I didn't wear it to a dance.
Well, this was to something during the summer, and then one school function, and then she's probably done with it.
I
But-
would make her rewear it.
But there is another congratulations.
not.
Oh.
Tyler Elkins, known as the
okay.
Caveman, has been hired as one of the head coaches of Annapolis Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
hey.
Is he a head coach or like an assistant
There's going to be
coach?
2 head coaches. He's one of them, and I don't know who the other one's going to be.
Wow.
Holly
That's
told me
cool.
that news. They just
Congratulations,
found out.
Tyler.
Now,
So
how did
Tyler-
I can't remember how you guys knew Tyler. Was he
Through
associated
Gabe.
with
Yeah,
Annapolis,
Gabe.
or he?
Oh,
just-
he went to Annapolis.
he went to Annapolis.
And
okay.
he was a wrestler in Annapolis,
Okay.
and then Gabe, a friend of ours, and he introduced us, and when we were going to the Clash Wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah, good dude.
This weekend, Tyler was at Asylum Comics on Van Born Road signing autographs.
The Three Wise Men, yeah?
No, this was a Clash thing.
Oh, okay.
You could have met the heavyweight champ of Clash and got a free 8x10.
A huge
I
head
think
coach,
that was
heavyweight
Saturday.
champ, dude.
Yeah, things
He's
are
a big
happening.
cat, man.
Yeah, just
That's fun.
We've
No
been lucky
wife,
enough
no
to have him
girlfriend.
twice.
Yeah, I know. He might get too big for us now. I don't know if
Yeah,
I'll have him
wow.
back. But
That's
congratulations
cool. Yeah,
all around to
congrats,
everybody this week.
And congrats to Fatima Gutierrez.
Yes, Fatima and her big 15. And now she can focus back on high school.
Back to work.
Back to work. Oh, one more congratulations goes out to my daughter. She finished her driver's training.
Oh,
And
phase
will-
1, right?
Phase
Is-
1.
yeah.
She will have her learner's permit this Wednesday. So
Okay.
she's ready to cruise in the Honda Fit all over the
Yeah,
place.
rolling fit
Yeah,
style.
so-
You should torture her. She can ride with any licensed driver, right?
Yeah.
So she gets to ride with
She-
you.
come
You
on.
should
I'm not
take
doing
her.
that. No.
She could drive the electric
I
car
got the
all over
BP
town.
issues. No, I'm good. I can't do it. Got that blood
You're not going to
pressure.
take your niece out
No,
for a roll
I'm
stroll
not.
around
You're
here?
responsible for Lorna. I can't do it.
Why? What's the big
I'm a
deal?
control freak.
He's
I can't
afraid
do
that
it.
he'll
Just
just
certain
yell.
moments where like she's at a stop and guns it. It's like, oh, stop! Or when she turns.
She
The one
doesn't
thing I
allow
noticed,
for the room.
you know how a seasoned driver can ease the gas, and then, you don't.
Ah.
Her, it's like go kart style. And then when I mention something, she gets pissy and just doesn't want me to ride
okay.
with her anymore. But that's just another story altogether.
That's all the growing pains of having a kid that's driving.
Yeah. So there's the 3 big congratulations for all the life moments this week.
Yeah.
Those are some big ones.
Now you guys went out to the West Coast, and let me hear about the West Coast.
Well, this
adventure.
is why we missed last week. We were out. We spent
Thousands of letters.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to our fan base that we missed this Sunday.
All
The only
five,
one guy
five
said,
people
"No
didn't know what to
podcast?"
do.
So we spent 8 days out on the West Coast. We flew into Seattle, and then we drove for an hour and a half up to Vancouver.
Two and a half.
Now,
Was it
did you
2.5?
need
I'm sorry, right.
passports for everyone to go to Vancouver?
We have passports. Lorna has a passport. She looks like we've abducted her in the passport.
okay.
It's a really creepy passport.
They don't let them smile when they're under a certain age. They have to keep a straight face in their
She looks
picture.
very scared in her
Yeah.
photo. But anyway, we all have passports, so we're able to just kind of go up there and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk about a handful of things. So we stayed, again, I work for a hotel chain. So we stayed outside of the city. We stayed in a city called Richmond, which is kind of like equivalent to Romulus here in Michigan. It's outside the airport.
Mm-hmm.
It was like mini Beijing. I mean, it was the craziest. I mean, I've never seen so many Chinese people. I think we took a flight across the whole
Are you
ocean.
sure they're Chinese? Were they Korean,
No,
Chinese,
it's
Japanese?
very Chinese. It's
it's
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah,
Okay.
hot pots everywhere and stuff like that. It was a bit of a culture shock to the both of us. Like, we're used to like seeing some Asian folks when you go to Toronto or whatever, but this was next level, Steve.
Did
I
you
mean,
get some good Chinese food while you were there?
not with a 7-year-old. That was half of the issue. With
She doesn't
where
like
we-
Chinese food?
She likes tacos and no lettuce. That's the only thing she eats.
Put
But-
some meat and cheese in a shell. And she's
yeah.
there.
So when we were there, we went up to this strip area. We took a train into the city. That's how we got around and stuff like that. We went up to this gas town area. Gas town is like their hips, young downtown area with all these shops. It was insanely expensive. Every shop we went into, me and Heather were like, "Oh!" Like,
It also had very distinct borders. Like we were in a shop in a shoe store, and the lady was like, "Oh, are you guys just walking around?" And we said, "Yeah." And she goes, you might want to stop and just turn around and go on the other side of the street after you finish this block, and then walk."
It gets sketchy.
And so we walked.
The Yakuza coming out.
Dude, it gets sketchy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw some ladies like holding a foil like on the street and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Holding a what?
A heroin foil.
A heroin foil,
Oh,
like they're
yeah,
sitting,
it's
just doing it
real.
right on. And then another guy was like peeing into a garbage can.
Yeah,
We had to like
his
walk
number
past
was
the
out.
door.
I got a 7-year-old daughter. and
You
we're
got
trying
a real
to.
taste of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the food was kind of interesting. So, like, Lorna had this thing. We had a bubble waffle. So it's at this place called Happy Lemon, which bubble teas are everywhere. I don't know if you've ever been. We just went to Toronto. There are these teas, these tapioca pearls in them that's really huge in Asian culture. They taste disgusting. But anyway, a bubble waffle was like they took this egg mix and put it in like this crazy waffle maker. This thing was delicious. Me, Lauren, and Heather were fighting over this bubble waffle.
Did it taste like an actual waffle?
It
Yeah.
tasted like a chocolatey waffle. It was awesome. It was one of those rare feats where you're like, I'll give this a shot. It was awesome. Get a bubble waffle if you're ever there.
Well, it's super crispy in between the bubbles, and then the bubbles
Yeah.
are like waffle texture.
And then Heather made this whole thing. We had this like hot dog cart at the end of the block by us called Japa Dog. It's like
Dog.
Japanese hot dogs. And I'm gonna massacre this name, but we had a Kurabato Terrameo. It's like teriyaki mayonnaise, some seaweed on top of a hot dog. It actually wasn't that bad. It was
Wasn't
kind of
horrible.
good. Yeah, it was. Now the other thing that was terrible when we started out in Seattle, on you know how when you're going down the freeway, you take this I-5 road up there. Every exit had these taco times. So we're like, okay, West Coast Taco Bell, right?
Yeah.
Steve, it was terrible.
Was it worse than the Burger King taco I just ate?
Yeah, it was
It-
worse,
it-
dude.
it
It
was
it cost
pretty
us like
bad.
$40 to eat at this place, dude.
serious?
Dude, it was everything there was super expensive. We'll talk about.
I
that
kind
here
of
in a
wanted to
second.
throw up.
Dude. It was, everything was mushy.
So Guy Fieri was never at a taco time.
No,
No.
dude, don't touch a taco time with a 10-foot pole. We'll talk about Jack in the Box, as you said you even had earlier. That's terrible, or later. That was terrible, too. The other thing, too, so we rented a Malibu. It cost me. It was pretty good. It fit all of our luggage, fantastic. But anyway, we're not here to talk about our Malibu. We're here to talk about But we filled this mug up at a Canadian gas station. $70 Canadian to fill this beast
That's
up.
more than the F-150.
$6 a gallon for gas in Vancouver.
Now,
dude.
is that $6? What's the transit? How much was
No,
it?
no,
in
no. It
Seattle?
was like $1.60 per liter or something. But like when you Google it, it's like around $6 a gallon there. It's
Jeez.
crazy. The fun part too was they have this thing called Stanley Park, which is like the Central Park out there. Me and Lorna got on a tandem bicycle and biked all the way around this thing. I basically just had her hang on, and I was like pedaling and stuff like that. Had a blast doing
She
that.
have her own bike.
She
Yeah.
had her own bike. She was off to the side and stuff like that. I had a good time doing that.
But my favorite is I was behind them a lot of the times, and when I would get in front of them, people wanted to pass us because we were kind of slow moving.
How dare you?
He'd be like, "Oh, somebody on your right," so I'd get over, or somebody on your left, and I'd get over, and then they'd pass. Every time somebody wanted to pass them, I'd be like, "Hey, Charles, somebody on your left," and he'd just keep going in the middle because he can't hear anything. And I'm like ringing my bell, and these people
Whatever.
would like pass me and then
You need, like,
stay
a
in
pocket of
between us
rocks.
because they couldn't.
Dude, it is
They
fun.
couldn't pass him.
The other thing too, so we went up to Whistler Mountain, which is Vancouver hosted the Winter Olympics. So they had this big mountain range where all the ski slopes and stuff like that are. You got to take this road called the 99 Sea to Sky Highway to go up there. Steve, this was sketchy as hell.
Is
It was
like
beautiful.
That, is it like that road in Hawaii that you go?
Hana? Yeah.
Dude,
We
it's
rode
like
that
Except
too.
you're going up
Yeah.
in elevation, Steve.
Oh, no,
it's like a 2-lane road. I don't know how they do it in the winter. Like, because this is like July and there's no snow. People do this shit in like the November. They're insane. I don't know. And then coming down because you're descending down. I'm doing 75 without even realizing it. So I'm on a 2-lane road on a mountain doing 75. Heather's like, "You want something to drink?" I'm like, "No." Dude, it was
White knuckle
super
in that
sketchy.
steering wheel.
Yeah. So,
So what was at the top of this mountain?
Oh, that's like the Whistler camp. So like, or not even camp. It's like Whistler
It's a
Village.
city,
It's super
yeah.
bougie, like Aspen of Vancouver.
okay.
Fancy hotels, bunch of rich white people up there. The other thing they do too is they turn ski slopes into mountain bike stuff. We didn't know this. Like we got there, and there's a billion mountain bikes. Me and Heather are like, what is going on? Like,
It's like BMX heaven.
yeah, it's and there's dudes
Exports.
walking around with their arms in slings and stuff like that, dude. There's some people taking some headers and stuff like that. But had a good time doing that.
And that's all in Vancouver.
That was in Whistler, 2 hours north of Vancouver. And then we came back down to spent that last day in Vancouver. We went to the Granville Market, which is kind of like an Eastern market, like how we have here in Detroit. It was really nice. We had a good time there. I ate my way around that mug.
was tasty.
Dude, so many bagels and delicious donuts and stuff. It was good. I ain't gonna lie. It was delicious. Diet be damned. It was awesome.
We didn't gain any weight. We didn't gain any weight.
We were okay. And then the last thing that was there, and we gave Holly some stickers from it. It's called the Richmond Night Market. So in Richmond, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they have like this crazy, I don't know if you call it like a carnival. It was like a carnival met Gibraltar.
Yeah.
That just happens, and it doesn't start till like 8 o'clock at night. So you walk around, there's Steve, you'd have had a great time. There was all these cool vendors that had like all these like Metal Gear Solid swords and all this kind of stuff. And it was in this like neon jungle and stuff. It was super cool. Tons of food stalls and stuff. So that was kind of a highlight of a trip. But we went back down. And we went down to Seattle. We had a much better time in Seattle.
Did you get to see any of the movie stuff in Vancouver?
They don't really, and I was going to talk to you about that. They don't really talk about that. There's no movie tours. There's no kind of anything
I know
that
Lyndon
alludes
did
to
it.
that. Did you pick? There was a lot of
No.
like Vancouver film institutes that are there, but they don't really. It's not like here in California where they lean into the movie stuff and all. They don't really talk about it. There was nothing of note anywhere around.
I would say, just from my personal observations, like while we were there, and then like what other people were saying while we were there. I mean, it's got to be difficult to film things there because everything is overcast all the time. Like the whole point of us going up to Whistler is we were going to go do this peak to peak gondola, so we could be up at the top of the mountain, and then you take the gondola over to the top of another mountain. We didn't even do it because
Heather said it had its bra on the whole time.
you couldn't
pop its
it
bra
wouldn't
off.
take his bra off the entire time. But it was just covered in cloud, and like
Peaks were covered.
you went to the visitor center to like go buy the tickets, and she could show us like what it looked like up at the top. They had like cameras up there. You couldn't see anything. It was like pea soup, and it's like that
Pea soup.
all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. But so we had a good time in Vancouver, but we had a much better time. We drove back down and we spent 4 more days in Seattle. And Seattle was a blast. Seattle's one of those. So we stayed in a town called Bremerton, which is across the Puget Sound from Seattle. So every morning we would get up and get on one of these crazy. You ever see those ferries where they drive cars onto them?
Yeah.
It was that. Like it was this mega ferry that we would then take into the city every morning. That was really kind of cool.
Would you drive the car onto the ferry?
No, we just took and
didn't.
parked the car. In these cities, we try not to drive around too much because we like the mass transportation. So, like in Vancouver, we took the train. In Seattle, we took the ferry in, just kind of park it, leave it, and then kind of do our thing.
Not to mention the ferry just drops you right in the middle of it. It was only like 2 or 3 like
It's in the
blocks
heart of the
from
city.
it's
Yeah, it's
from
right
like the
there.
Pikes Market and stuff.
But to your point, you asked about this before. We went to the Mopop Museum in downtown
yeah,
Seattle.
is that any good?
That was awesome.
Yeah,
We had a
okay.
blast there. Heather and I had they had like Conan's sword there. They had all these like horror movie props. They had the Blair Witch props there.
Very movie based.
Oh, it was cool, man. Just pop culture in general. A lot of music stuff. They had video game stuff. The Mopop Museum was a huge, huge plus from us. We really had a great time in Mopop.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I wouldn't say that's worth the trip, but that was definitely
It's a good part
highlight.
of it.
Yeah, it's a very good time in Seattle. The other thing is, and BV failed us, but we did Amazon Go. We
All
went
right.
into an Amazon Go for lunch on the first day, so I can tell you the whole experience.
Okay, let's
All
do
right.
this.
So an Amazon Go store, for people who don't know, are those cashierless Amazon stores. Now, what do you think is in this store before we go into it? Because I had a misconception here.
Well, from what I heard, they're kind of like convenience stores.
Yeah, they are.
just
And
food and snacks.
there's a lot of food and snacks. I thought it might have been like a Target. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah,
like,
but you can't risk that with people running out TVs out the front door.
Steve, this place is magical. We don't understand
It really
how
was.
it works. So Heather downloaded an app onto her phone.
Okay.
Then it was me, Heather, and Lorna. She in the app goes. Lorna goes through the turnstile. There's no one there.
I
Goes through the
scanned my
turn.
phone.
Yeah.
Then Lorna went through.
Then I went through, and then Heather went through. So we're all somehow attached to her app on her phone.
Okay.
We run around like idiots and grab a bunch of stuff, and we're looking. And to your point, it's a lot of like ready-made sandwiches. It's a very convenient store. You hit the nail on the head with that. Like a lot of smaller grab-and-go type things. But if you're in We were right next door to Amazon Seattle headquarters, which was right next door in these huge glass orbs. You could see why they put it there. So you could wander over and kind of see whatever. So you go through there. Lauren is picking up stuff, showing me, and we're throwing stuff, and we're doing whatever. This, we want this, we don't. Bunch of stuff, back and forth, back and forth. You know, and we eventually decide on an order. We chuck it in this Amazon Go bag. And then when we're ready to go, we just literally just walk out of the one side that there's like a one direction and then in and out. We go out the out, and the thing somehow knows exactly what the hell we grabbed. I don't know what kind of magic this thing uses.
There's probably a sensor at the bottom of the food somehow, right?
I have no idea, Steve. It doesn't look. So we open the
There
package.
doesn't look like there's anything
nothing
special on it.
there that I can see, but it's just like I said, like a regular store, and you just piece out. So we get out there, and then Heather just gets like a through the app like a notification of what we grabbed, and it knew exactly what we grabbed. It was the craziest, coolest thing I've ever done. Yeah, I don't know.
How were the prices?
Prices seemed okay.
About the same, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. We had lunch through there. It cost us $38, but we've got a bunch of bags of chips and you know what I mean, everything extra. Totally recommend an Amazon Go store, if not for the experience. It was super cool. BV needs to go to the one in Chicago. I had a good time.
He will in about 6 years when one of us goes down there and takes them.
I mean, what the hell? Because Heather and I mean, we walked far. Like, we were from there just to go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was
We
like,
were very
we're
much
doing-
out of the touristy area,
Yeah, it
and
got
it was like
real
a Sunday,
business.
so it was like empty.
Did you go in the Amazon headquarters or no?
No, because it was a Sunday, so it was closed.
Yeah. But it was a
I think
huge,
you
like,
can go in.
biodome type
Yeah.
thing. It was crazy. I was like, what is that? Heather goes, that's the headquarters, according to her phone.
Well, it's like a weird. It's not even the headquarters. It's like a work area for the people who work for Amazon. So it's just like
whatever.
kind of
I
like
don't
the
know what it
student
was.
union of a
Yeah.
college campus where you just go and like work.
So, and again, we go through the delicious food we had there. Beecher's Cheese Shop that's in Pike's Market right there. Oh, my God, Steve. It's a cheese. They make cheese in-house, but they also sell these.
All right, you had me at cheese.
Dude, they sell these.
I've been talking about it since we got it. I was like, can we buy somebody this cheese for Christmas?
So, two things to go there for. The Mopop place and this Beecher's Cheese Shop. This is
So
one of the best
good.
grilled cheese and mac and cheese I've ever had. That was just, I would have dipped a shoe in that. It was that good, man.
Well, we often talk. So, like, when you watch these food things, they're like, oh, these have the best donuts ever. Go to this donut. And then you eat it, and you're like, oh, it's a good donut, but it tastes like a donut. So, I was expecting, a good grilled cheese.
Dude, it was good as
It
hell.
was
How much they charge you for
Amazing.
It was expensive as hell.
Yeah.
It was, So like a sandwich a piece.
We got
a,
3
a tub of
sandwiches.
mac and cheese and a tub of soup was like $40, $45. It was no joke. But man, Steve,
was so
that
worth
Beecher's
it.
cheese shop,
It was so worth it.
I want to get some mail order to the house. It was that good.
Once a month, send me some cheese, please.
So good.
The other thing going down the fatty treats, we had this thing called Sugar and Spoon, which I found out later on is like a Seattle institution. You get a big, huge dollop of cookie dough inside an ice cream cone at this food truck. It was straight tight too, son.
There's a place we're going in Philadelphia that has that. She's been dying
Oh
to
my
eat
God,
that.
it's so good.
It's so good.
It's so bad for you. Like, you can just see your body producing stuff as you eat it. It's so good though. And then I brought up to Steve, I brought home a packet for this. In Washington,
stole a
at
packet.
Taco Bell, they had breakfast
Not
salsa.
stealing. It's out there for sampling.
Yeah. So I had to bring Steve home some breakfast salsa. And then the other thing, we all tried Jack in the Box, just like Steve said. Oh, this is a West Coast thing. This is terrible, people. I don't know
Years
what.
and years ago, there was one here on Allen Road.
Oh, thank God it's
I
gone.
was
So
probably
gross.
10 years old when it was here. Then it went out of business. So that was you're looking at, Jesus Christ, 34 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how different it is from there, but man, it is not good. Jack. in the
Actually, I was wrong. I didn't have it in California. I had it in Hawaii. Is where we had it.
It
There was
sucked.
a Jack. It was not good.
I tried to
Yeah.
rip Lorna, so
like
she
a-
got tacos at first, and then they were
just
so
like that BK taco.
they were so
Mooch,
greasy.
mooch,
They were
and,
like flexible, and then Charles went and got her some chicken tenders, and like I tried to rip them apart so that the steam would come out and they'd cool off a little bit faster. There was so much grease in between the chicken and the
Vile,
breading,
man.
like the breading just slid off, and you couldn't even
What was
break
the move
chicken
for
apart.
breakfast? Did you guys just eat like at the hotel for breakfast?
We ate at the
That's
hotel in
funny.
Seattle because we had one at the hotel, and then
Yeah.
in Vancouver we did the move where you go to the store and have a bunch of stuff
We
there.
always do that too.
Because you got to save that cash, man. It
yeah.
gets 3 squares outside. One of the things that was kind of a disappointment, and I think Heather would agree, the Seattle Aquarium was kind of like the seals and otter stuff is cool because you don't see that typically in a lot of aquariums, and you're in Seattle and all that. But the aquarium itself was really small. It cost $100 for the three of us to go through it. Kind of avoid that.
We've done a lot of aquariums. Two best aquariums you're ever going to see. Number one is the one in Georgia.
Everyone keeps telling me that. The
Yeah.
Atlanta one's supposed to be just amazing.
It's humongous.
I love the one in Chicago. I like the Shed.
Shed.
That's number
I
one.
like the one in Toronto that we went to,
Toronto was
the
okay.
Ripley's one. It was okay.
But everyone, to Steve's point, as soon as I bring up the aquarium thing, everyone tells me the Atlanta one. The Atlanta one's
They got
gotta
a
be
glass wall that's probably 3 stories tall with they
freaks
got
me
goddamn
out.
whales behind the glass.
Oh, Jesus.
And with other, it's.
I would be
it's
sweaty palms in
It's-
that,
it's-
dude.
That aquarium's worth the money. That's the one I've been in. But aquariums, like zoos, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I would say to me, if you're at there for $100, man, avoid the Seattle one. Would be my review.
You're probably thinking you're Seattle. They're on the ocean. They got to have some good fish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
See, we went to the Hawaii one on our honeymoon, which was okay, but I think the one in Chicago was better.
Yeah.
And here I am. We're in Hawaii. We're on the Pacific Ocean. They got to have some
Dude,
cool stuff.
you go out the back door
Yeah,
and get some
yeah.
stuff for me to
I
look
should be able
at.
to jump on the back of an orca
Yeah.
or something. No, they got nothing.
It's
One otter looking at you.
Yeah, and I mean,
That was
like I
great.
said, they had a whole show,
The
and to watch
otters
the
were really
otters
cool.
like grab the little oysters and try to crack them. It's pretty fun to watch.
And they're
I
all
enjoyed
rescue
it.
otters. They talk about like how they rescue them and bring
It's
them back
great.
to house.
We
So,
paid a
like,
lot to rescue an otter, though. It's
I
$100,
know.
yo. I was like, Jesus.
I forget what zoo we went to. They had otters, and you could feed them. We were there right when they were feeding them. They're throwing them peanuts and stuff with their little hands and
it's
stuff.
so cool. Yeah. Admittedly, I like an otter. Yeah. The other thing, Heather's a big coffee drinker. We know we are not as we podcast. Starbucks, the OG original Starbucks is right across from Pike's Place, and then they have the Starbucks Reserve. Now this was
What is
fun.
the Starbucks Reserve?
This is the ultimate douche coffee scenario.
I
So
hate my own people.
Yeah, white people that love coffee go to Starbucks. First of all, in Seattle,
Can you get pumpkin spice?
You can't.
can't.
You can't?
get a
Michelle won't go. She's
Dude, you
out.
can't. I walked in. I
They
gave
don't
the-
make,
the
like, your
greeter
basics,
douche
like-
in the door. I go, point me to the frappuccinos, my man. He goes, we don't make them here. I was like, well, then you don't have me here. What is this? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? It's like I said. It's like for a true coffee snob and kind of sore. So Heather's like, I'm gonna get me a blended coffee. She walks over, like, gets like the packages of like they'll talk to you and say, hey, if you like this, you like that. She comes back. She goes, a half a pound is $46.
Oh, my God.
Dude, it's just crazy.
You know how much Folgers you can get for
Yeah.
$46?
So Heather was like, "Oh hell no," and walked away from
She didn't
that.
buy any of it?
Steve, it was wall to wall people in this thing. It was unbelievable. This thing's got to be a license to print money. They got to be making so much money.
What is it? It's a big...
The in-house brewing beans, and they're also doing experimental things with brewing processes. If you're into coffee, I'm sure it's amazing. But here's a coffee douche. She was like, "Get me the hell out of here." I had to go and buy the mug. She was ready to leave. She was like, "This is crazy."
$46 for a bag of coffee.
Well, yeah, because
For an 8-ounce
I
bag
was
of
telling,
coffee.
yeah, I was telling Charles. So I go over. He's like, yeah, you can go up and talk to these guys, and they make you this custom blend of like beans,
Tell 'em
like
what you
coffee
like,
beans.
you
Tell
know.
them what you like. Oh yeah, I'll go check it out. These people are standing talking to this guy, and he's like bringing out like a little tray and putting like some beans on it, and like and they're sniffing it, and it's like when
They
you.
did it like wine style.
Oh
Next
yeah,
level
they were like
douchebaggery,
wafting
dude.
it up to their noses.
It was
So
funny.
I'm like, okay, I'll wait, and I'm like entertained by watching it. And then I start to look at the prices, and when I say 46 for like half a pound, that was like the lowest one. They were like way more
Steve.
expensive. And then the other thing I didn't tell you, so on Pinterest, whenever we go someplace, I always look up
I'm tuning out as soon as you said Pinterest.
whatever. I always look up, this is what girls do. I always look up like, what to do in those areas. So then when I go back on Pinterest, it's got all this Seattle stuff. And this article pops up that's like the things to do if you want to be off the beaten path or non-touristy things. And that reserve is on every single one of those
Off the
non-touristy.
beaten path?
Yeah, it was the busiest place we went. I don't know what they're
Dude,
talking
it
about
was
off the
wall-
beaten
You had to
path.
fight for a seat. There
So
was
could you get a cup of coffee there, or you just can buy the beans?
No, you could get coffee. So like,
just straight up coffee. Don't want nothing fruity in that mug. You
Well,
gotta take your ass out.
yeah, so they would make like you get like coffee with cream. So they would put cream and sugar in it for you. You could get iced coffees, and then they were like doing these
You
things
get
were
to smell the cream.
Dude,
they were pouring it over ice
so on
cream
the
and
nose
stuff. You could get
douchebag,
stuff. Oh, it was
dude.
horrible.
So
It
it's
was
basically the wine douches the
Oh,
coffee.
yeah.
Oh.
But so again, we went to there and we went to the OG Starbucks. The OG Starbucks was 10 times better.
I loved
original
the OG Starbucks. It was fun.
It was the original Starbucks where it all started, and it was like a regular Starbucks when you went in. We could get frappuccinos for me and Lorna. We could do whatever. 10 times better. Avoid the reserve thing. Go to the OG Starbucks. We had to wait in line to get in there.
But it really wasn't that bad. So we had to wait in line, but they had like 4 people taking orders. And then this chick that was doing all the coffees and like the lattes and stuff,
She was an animal.
she was an animal. She wouldn't even look up. She's
Steve,
pulling
I've
things.
never seen a chick
She
make
put-
coffees as fast as this chick.
She put her hand up at one point. She's pulling the stuff, doing all the things, and then she just put her hand up. Didn't even look. They tossed her
Cups.
the cups with the orders.
She didn't
so, like,
break stride.
She did not break strides.
She was
She's
the
like,
OBJ.
And then she put her down. She did like
It's
3 in a
crazy.
row. She caught all of the like orders
She's
for the
banging
groups.
it out, dude.
Oh, she was awesome.
But
All for $4.95 an hour.
exactly, and bitching because you got to make frappuccinos. I hate you, Starbucks baristas. The other thing too, we did the Pike's Place Market. You got to do it one time, but
What
so
is Pike's Place?
Pike's
Market?
Place Market's where they throw the fish.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you go there, right?
Must
And you
stink
feel.
like
I
ass.
walked away. Heather's like, well, "Where are you going?" At one point, you feel like such a douche. There's like 30, not even. There's probably 50 like tourists lining up around these guys, waiting for them to throw a fish like we're an otter ourselves. I'm like, this is the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not gonna line up with 45 Chinese people waiting for them to chuck a fish across an ice bin. Like, I'm not doing it. So we walked away, and then we eventually, when we came back around, we were able to see it. But it's so embarrassing. Like, you feel like the ultimate tourist. Like, throw me a fish, throw a fish. You know what I mean? Like, it's so lame. But the cool part was at the Pike's Place, my boss turned us on. They have this thing called the gum wall. These
I saw the
idiots-
picture. That was disgusting.
Oh my God, Steve! It doesn't do it justice. Holy, it's dripping down. There's so much gum on these in this back alley, just adjacent to this market.
You know, my wife and kid are germaphobes. They saw those pictures. They both were like, "Oh my god, dude!" They'd be covered in Purell.
Oh, dude.
So disgusting.
But me, Heather, and Lorna both put a piece of gum on
I'd
that
get
mug.
a pack of Big League Chew.
Just
and just put a-
boom.
Well, we stopped and got like a thing of Hubba Bubba.
Yeah, dude. It was cool. Admittedly, that was kind of fun, touristy, but fun as hell to do. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, like we talked about earlier, the homelessness thing that's going on there is crazy.
Yeah.
There's tent cities.
Must be
under,
the whole West Coast. San Diego was bad when I was there too.
like under the freeways. There was just like these like groups of tents under the freeways.
Yeah, like their own little cities.
Yeah, they call them tent cities. It's crazy. I never. And then the traffic. So the last day we drove from Bremerton into the airport, we're 25 miles out of downtown Seattle, according to the little sign. It said 90 minutes in your car to go the 25 miles. Dude, I was like, this is crazy. I don't know how anyone lives there. But again, we loved Seattle. We thought Vancouver was
Now,
okay.
I didn't see anything. Did you go the whale watching or no?
No.
We
'cause you
opted
talk
not
about
to do it. It was
$250, and then Heather's got the queasy guts.
$250 per person.
After you factor in all of us, it'd be like $250 for the 3 of us to go do it.
That's a little pricey.
And then, like, so basically, we went out there for 6 hours, bobbing on a boat with her eyes turning green.
Dramamine wouldn't have saved you.
Dramamine gets me so far, and then like towards the end, if I'm just like bobbing
She's
on
done.
a boat, like when we
She's
did,
done.
yeah, when we did lobster fishing in Maine.
Yeah.
So like during the actual lobster fishing, I was okay because they let us like change the traps and like pull things and do all that stuff. So I didn't feel it at all. And then like on the, way
Staten
back,
Island ferry, you should have seen her, Steve. You should
Oh.
have seen her. She was dying. It was unbelievable.
it just
We
makes
were
me
waiting to get on the
so-
Statue of Liberty, and we're
Welcome
at
to
the
my
dock.
world.
Her eyes were just, oh, and she gets to the point where you can't talk to her, you can't touch her, you can't do
Yeah,
anything.
you just want air, right?
Yeah, I just want air.
I want cool air. That's all I
That's
want.
all. I went and sat.
Someone turn on a fan.
Dude, immediately.
I just went and
Did you
sat
break
because
out in that cold sweat?
yes.
I love it.
Yeah, and like because the thing
I know
is, the
exactly
very
what
first
that's
one
thing. So on
motion
the,
sickness
the
to
Staten
another.
Island ferry, I got my parents with us. So the first thing my mom wants to do when she sees
She's
that,
over-parenting.
she just wants to talk to me. How are you feeling? Can you take this?
I want to put my
Will you do
hands on something and I want some cool air. All right?
Charles likes to
Give me
touch
cooler.
me when he sees that I don't feel like he'll be
Michelle
like,
did.
"You okay?" And
I
I'm like,
know
"Just
it now.
get away."
It took me a while to learn it, but I know it now.
One of
just
the
let her.
first times on an airplane, I didn't take Dramamine for some reason because I thought I was over it. Broke out in a cold sweat. And my shirt felt like I jumped in a pool. Michelle's like, oh my God. She learned not to touch me if I'm tripping
That's
out. Like, don't
awesome.
touch me. Just and I had all the little fans on the plane.
Those little nozzles are the worst. I do admit.
Just suck it in.
He's like, I just need something.
I just
I always
close
need-
my eyes and I'm like, just don't anything. Just
I always
everything.
need cool air.
just-
That's
Yeah,
number
she
one.
says the same thing. She needs air.
Yeah.
She always
Yeah.
says that. Yeah.
Even though you're maybe outside on a boat, I still need air. How do you get off a roller coaster? Someone give me air.
The Dramamine, I can take Dramamine and I'm fine on roller coasters.
exactly
the
what
only
she
thing
said.
that does not put a dent in is boats.
Boat motion. Yeah.
But we rode that ferry, and I
That
have to
ferry
say
was
that
enormous,
ferry did
Heather.
not bother me at all.
that was like a cruise ship. They
Yeah,
parked
it didn't bother
full-fledged
me.
cars on that ferry. so
yeah.
there's-
I mean, I took the Dramamine every morning before
You
we
didn't
rode it,
feel
but I did not
anything.
feel sick at all. The first time that we
You
rode
get
it,
you on a
I said
smaller
we're
boat,
riding
though.
up top because I need to be out in the air.
It's
But
all-
it was fine after that.
Anyway, that was the big West Coast adventure.
So no Microsoft.
No, but so we saw Microsoft's building in downtown Vancouver as well as downtown Seattle right there, but nothing. There was no kind of interaction. There's no shops. There's no nothing. It's a true headquarters, I'd say.
Yeah, I know there's a tour you can take, but you might have been there on the weekend or something.
Okay.
It's like a $40 tour. I've looked into that too. 'Cause
Okay.
I've been wanting to take a trip out. I'm going to eventually.
Seattle's cool. I'd say, to me, do the Seattle wing and then go south somewhere because the Vancouver stuff was just kind of like, meh.
It's cool, but it's not like
If I go to Vancouver, I'm looking for that movie studio stuff. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be able to find it a little bit. There was nothing to us.
Did you get
that-
to see the Seattle Seahawks stadium from the
Yeah,
outside?
so we did.
Yeah.
I text you, I was at CenturyLink Stadium from the outside. We went to the pro shop. I didn't buy anything because screw you, Seahawks. And then I went
He
to the
does
main-
this all
so
the time.
strongly against the Seahawks.
He
I'm
takes
the
us to
different.
every single football stadium. Like
I
if we're
have
in a
to
major
see it.
city,
Steve
he's got to
knows.
go.
He does
But he
the same
refuses to buy anything.
But I always buy a hat. Like I went to DC and bought a Redskins hat.
I won't do
I
it.
always
I won't do
I don't
it.
know why.
No.
I just,
He'll
I'm
buy
in
like
enemy
baseball
territory.
hats.
This
Okay, yeah.
ill Mariners hat came from where the Mariners play. Yeah, you could go
okay.
into the pro shop. Stuff
What's the
like
name of that stadium?
that. I'm not sure. I'll look it up here. But yeah, so far, I'd recommend anyone to go to Seattle. We had a blast in Seattle. And like I said, Vancouver, I don't want to come off as anti-Vancouver. It just was different than we thought it was going to be, I think, in our heads.
And I think we're also looking at different tours. Like we couldn't do a Microsoft tour or probably even a movie studio tour because we've got a 7-year-old.
Yeah,
with
what
us.
is she going to do? Yeah.
Well, she might like the movie stuff. I don't know about the Microsoft. Should probably be bored out of her head.
Yeah.
Or the Microsoft one's not very long. You go there, you go in the lobby. It may not have been $40. It's about
T-Mobile Park for the
T-Mobile. It's about 40 minutes. They walk you through. They got like a history wall with all these different operating systems and computers and stuff. I imagine Michelle and Holly would be bored too, but I'll enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, and we did see there was a handful of game companies in Vancouver we saw that were down
yeah,
towards
yeah.
Stanley Park. You could see they have their corporate office.
Yeah, the one that made Batman Origins is there.
Yeah.
It's an EA studio. It's in there.
Nonetheless, cool big cities. We
wanna
love
see
big
it.
cities. I think that you should definitely go and check it out. Put eyes on it at some point in your life. I'd recommend that. The only thing I'd say I really wish. With the 8 days, I wish we had put a third city in. That was kind of what Heather and I were talking about. It probably could have done with a third city.
Well, we're looking at there's a cruise line on the West Coast. I think I told you about it. It starts in San Francisco, so you get a day in San Francisco, then it goes up to Seattle, then Spokane, Washington, and then Columbia, BC, up
British
to
Columbia, yeah.
You get like a day or so in each one. And then
Yeah,
it comes
I think
back.
that's pretty good, and
I think that's what
I
I
could
might
definitely
do.
pare you down in the upper. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
see this, don't worry about that so much.
Yeah,
you know?
I tell you what, I don't want to drive up that mountain. I'm telling you that. I've been through Tennessee enough time. I don't want to do that
Steve,
stuff. I'm not
it
a
was
fan.
beautiful.
Tennessee, it doesn't snow. Like this
Yeah.
is for the winter. I don't know how they do it.
God. Have you ever taken that trip through Michigan, through Canada, into upstate New York?
No.
There's a long stretch where it's just like 2 lanes, one lane, one going each way.
It's sketchy.
Yeah, it's sketchy as hell. Me and Scott did that in January.
Dude,
I was
tell
white
me.
knuckling the shit out of that.
Dude, it's tough.
We're driving
man.
his old F-150. I'm like, oh my god,
Dude, it's sketchy.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Some
I'm
of those,
just-
and amazing how those locals act like it's flat land. Like
They
"Mm,
zoom
that-
past
that-
and again, I guess
I'm
from
doing
Mich-
30 and a 70. I'm gonna
Dude.
die. I'm
Yeah.
gonna die.
And like I said the whole
Such
time,
a
Heather's like,
wuss.
"You're a piece of gum." I'm like, "Dude, I can't take my hands off the wheel. They're glued to the wheel." She's like, "You good? Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. I'm fine." Yeah.
I told you that story before when me and Dad drove all the way to Florida, and we were going through Tennessee. We got there about 9 o'clock at night. Just got dark. He's like, "You're gonna start driving, okay?" Going through the mountains, and they had construction. It was 1 lane,
Dude, that's
and then
how that
semis
is.
were just zipping past you. And my whole Ranger's like, And you look down, all you see is side of
Yeah,
mountain. Oh,
man. So
Oh.
that's how that 99 is. It would grow like a passing lane for a little bit, and then it would come back down to 2
Yeah.
lanes.
It's like grow a pair, right?
And then, like you said, coming back, man, I'm hauling ass and don't even realize it. Like I'm just doing 70. I'm like, oh, geez, slow down. So anyway,
So
it was
there
a
you
good
go.
time.
Big West Coast. Couldn't do the whales. A little expensive. I understand that.
But we brought back for our taste test today.
Oh, here we go.
Some
Seattle
delicious jerky
I
treats.
don't know about delicious.
Delicious jerky treats. So
I
we've
suggested these as a taste test before I knew I was going to be on this episode.
got yeah. So Heather screwed up. So we've
I might
got
get motion sickness from eating this.
we've got
Money
2
there.
sets of jerky here. We're gonna do jerky taste tests from
Okay.
the West Coast. Brought these home just for Steve. We got a vegan jerky company.
Well, this
I
is
don't know
for
how
Abby,
you
really.
make beef jerky or whatever that's vegan, but
What
this
is the main ingredient?
I'm assuming soy
Soybeans.
textured soy protein is the main ingredient on this. This is Louisville's Vegan Jerky Company, Reuben's Smoky Carolina Barbecue,
What we don't eat, we'll ship to Abby.
and then we'll send it out to Abby in Chicago. And then I also brought back some salmon jerky for those of you who
That was everywhere. in
yeah, this is
Vancouver.
chum salmon.
Chums.
I mean, I would assume that means chunks. So everyone grab a little bite. Take yourself some of this. Steve
I mean,
looks-
it's very potent.
Get this salmon jerky in your life next. Steve's gonna puke.
I feel like it's too soft.
It's very fishy. Very fishy. Very fishy. It's so fishy. It's so fishy.
Take the vegan one. Give that
Dude,
to
I just
her.
bit on the side of a salmon. It is so fishy.
This vegan one's very soft.
The vegan one, I have to admit, not that bad.
Does it taste like beef jerky?
No, it tastes like barbecued wing dings, or
Winged it?
wing dings. It's like a chicken wing. It tastes like honey barbecue.
That
Kinda
salmon
spicy.
one is hideous.
I hate salmon, man. I hate it. I'm gonna clear my palate.
Oh,
Oh, we didn't bring any water in
Nope.
with us. Oh.
nope. So I'm going to try. That salmon
It
one is.
smells. Oh, it smells.
Just smells like a can of cat food when you open it.
It stinks.
Smells like
Jesus, I don't know if I can eat this, bro.
I just ate a piece. You can eat a.
Oh,
it
my
doesn't
Do it at the
taste
same time.
All right,
One, two, three.
All right, hands down, this is the most disgusting thing we've had on this podcast.
That
Nothing
salmon
compares.
jerky is
Take that
disgusting, dude. All right, I'm
Do
gonna
that
try
too.
this
I'm not
vegan
going anywhere
jerky.
near.
I don't want any of this.
It does have an odd texture to this vegan one. It doesn't. It has no. It doesn't. Oh,
So fishy.
I hate fish.
oh.
Yes.
So I gotta be honest with you. I take this vegan one all
Oh,
day.
give me the bag of vegan.
Oh my
Take
god,
that salmon and
that
shove it.
salmon one is
Woo.
hideous.
That was disgusting.
Oh my god, my hand.
That doesn't it taste like honey barbecue chicken, kind of a little
Yeah.
I feel like I just ate cat food.
bit? Because you did. They took a can of cat food, sucked the juice out of it, and fed
These
it
are
to us.
officially disgusting all the way around.
The vegan one's a little more palatable.
I would eat the
Crazy
vegan
cat-
one
it
more
tastes
than
like
the
weird, like almost like a
salmon.
wet Cheeto. Or
It
something.
doesn't taste like jerky. I don't know.
No.
It's not even chewy. I'm telling you, it tastes like honey barbecue wings from. I just had them for lunch at Applebee's with Dad. It's so weird.
So I got to tell you, a big thumbs down on both of those.
That was
man.
not
I
pleasant.
wish I did bring the cinnamon biscuits.
Going around the room, Lewis vegan jerky.
If I had a choice between that or the salmon, I'm gonna take the vegan jerky.
I agree with Steve.
I'm going to take neither of these. These are I can't.
Well-
even chew
Well, I'm
on
not
them.
going to take either one, but if
I
I
wouldn't
had,
waste $3 or $4 on either one of them. But
That salmon jerky was unpalatable.
that was and even the smell of it. The smell.
Oh,
I
it
thought
stinks.
I thought Ralph was gonna come running for a can of food.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
God, that was gross.
Oh, where's
I'm
Chewy?
so glad I schlepped those all the way back from the West Coast.
Oh, I wish TSA would have took those from you. Oh, so gross.
You know what TSA did hit us up though? So Heather bought the OG Pike's Place. They had like a specific blend. It wasn't $46 at the original Starbucks. I put it in our carry-on. I like to carry my souvenirs because I don't want to get broke if I went all the way that way. We got pulled at TSA because I had the coffee beans, and she had to swab the coffee beans and all this kind of
What?
stuff. I don't know, man. I got pulled because
Swab
of some
the
coffee.
coffee?
the other
beans.
crazy thing about that airport that's worth mentioning is like, you know how you have to take your shoes off before you go through TSA?
Yeah.
They have like a bomb dog that goes in
They
between
pair
you.
up, 2 people at a time, and then the bomb dogs weave in.
Did I tell you what
between.
Dad wants to do?
What?
He wants to get one of those bomb dog jackets for Bali and just walk around with it.
That's kind of good, actually.
I thought that was funny.
Give me that water, Heather. Don't bogart it.
Don't. He made us eat the salmon, Heather.
Oh,
Don't
that
give it to him.
salmon one is brutal.
Oh, that was terrible.
In his defense, I'm the one that told him to buy it. For his taste test.
That was hideous.
Now, Michelle bought some kind of special English tea. We'll probably try on one of the podcasts.
What is it?
It's straight. It's imported from England. I forgot the name of it.
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey's a type, right?
Yeah, Earl Grey. Is
I don't know. She got it at
Where'd she get it from?
Holiday Market. She loves that place, Holiday Market.
Okay.
We'll talk about
But
other
she-
things.
So this is like a specific tea she knew of based
this
on...
imported from England. This
Oh,
is,
wow.
This is a very bougie English tea we're
Oh,
going to try.
okay. Did she pay a lot of money for it?
I don't know.
Is
I
it
have
in
to-
bags or is it leaves?
I don't know. I have to ask her. She didn't say. She just kind of mentioned it to me, and we'll bring it. I'll bring it next week or something like that. We'll try it.
I had to wash that salmon whip out of my mouth. That was brutal. So I'm down with English tea. You got to let me know. So I tried the breakfast salsa. I brought Steve a pack. It's very mild, but it had at least it's got chunks, which from
Are
Taco
we sure
Bell.
we don't have this? It might be out in the mornings for.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is it out
I've
in the
never
morning?
seen
They
it.
just-
I've never had
we don't
Taco
eat
Bell
Taco Bell
breakfast.
breakfast.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I brought it just in case you have never seen it.
I'll
I've never
put it on
seen it
something.
out. It
You
was
know what? I
out,
won't put it on a Burger King taco because those are disgusting.
or the salmon jerky.
Maybe I'll hit McDonald's drive-through tomorrow morning and get me some burritos with that taco salsa.
I just had another chunk of my teeth. I had to, ugh. God, I need a moment of the salmon jerky.
So you guys were gone, so I did my regular boring Steve stuff and went to the theater. The
Okay.
theater.
Yeah.
Not the bougie theater. We went to Cinemark to watch Spider-Man. You guys aware of Spider-Man?
Yeah, this is the new one,
Red
right?
and blue pajamas running around.
Yeah.
Did you, either one of you see the first one?
No.
No.
This is what's the kid's name? Who's in
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, the new.
Side note, my daughter has a huge crush on him.
Oh,
I was
okay.
going to say, did Holly go
He's a
with you?
Oh, yeah, she went with me.
scrawny emo.
Yeah, I
kid.
don't understand it. She likes 5'2" Tom Holland and then 6'1" Shawn Mendes.
But
That's
they're very scrawny and.
I was going to say, they're both very scrawny.
Yeah, but
but
she
so
loves them
this
both.
one is he went to Europe on a
Yes,
vacation.
he's
or
on a
something?
family, not a family, a school vacation.
Okay.
So his classmates are all headed. They're touring Europe,
Okay.
and of course, while they're touring Europe, all these random villains are attacking his. No one sees coincidental. that,
Everywhere
Spider-Man-
this kid goes, some shit's going on.
Yeah, no. Well, the funny thing is, his girlfriend in the movie, which is Mary Jane, played by Zendaya or whatever her name is,
Like a
she
Disney
kind of
Channel
picks.
star.
Yeah,
right?
she kind of picks up on it. Like, how come every time we're on vacation and stuff?
Yeah.
So she puts two and two together. But it's a good movie. It's enjoyable. If you like Spider-Man,
How do the effects look? Are they
oh,
blown
they
up
look
like
great.
big time?
Now, I don't know
European?
what you guys know about Mysterio, but Mysterio is a special effects wizard. So all those
Who plays Mysterio? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
Okay.
very handsome, very
Oh.
got a nice beard going, Ooh. And
Aren't I? Shouldn't I be the one that's like, ooh?
Heather, we need
no,
a moment.
you're too
Okay,
late. You're, too
dang it.
late. You're still recouping from salmon. But he's a villain that always did illusions to make people think. That's why in the previous spoilers, so I don't get yelled at. In the preview, you see the big fire monster. It's actually just an illusion that he's making up. So it's very good, very clever. Follows the comics pretty close. Nick Fury's in it. So and if you
Nick
enjoy-
Fury being the Sam Jackson character.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah. Now there's two end credit scenes, and the first one,
Hang out after the credits.
yeah,
right?
the first one.
That's like
you'll-
a rule of thumb for all things Marvel, right?
yeah,
At this point, yeah.
But the first one you'll really enjoy because they bring back J.K. Simmons as Jonah Jameson from the Tobey Maguire movie.
Oh, okay.
So he's on a billboard, going off on. So that was kind of a cool little
Yeah.
thing they did. So they brought him back.
There was also a Sam Raimi cameo in this one as well. The director of the Tobey
oh,
Maguire
okay.
one.
I don't know. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
I have to watch it back
because
and
he's
see
back
it.
for that bad Barry Pepper movie with the alligator.
I want to kind of see that and root for the alligators. Like, go Gators, go! But yeah, it looks terrible. But Spider-Man was good. Made 500.
What was the second? I interrupt you. What was the second credit one?
That one, if you're gonna go to the theater, you probably don't even have to wait for that one. It's just kind of like a comic relief one. Nick Fury and his top agent Smolder, they're actually Skrulls.
Agent Smolder, like FX or X Files?
X-Files.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it's Smolder. I could be wrong.
Oh.
It's a female agent. They always call her Smolder. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I don't know.
I think isn't it Mulder?
I don't know.
Mulder is X-Files. Smolder.
Mulder.
Oh wow.
Mulder and Smolders. Get your Smolders straight.
Sorry.
They're actually Skrulls, and Nick Fury was on vacation. So the whole Nick Fury you saw through the whole movie is not him; it's a scroll. He's friends with the scroll, so it was kind of a lame one. That one you don't have to wait for, but the first one's pretty good if you like the Tobey Maguire movies. So
Yeah.
so there you go.
Shout out to Toby Spider-Man.
I give this a B plus. It's entertaining. Now I'd like to see in the next movie. Let's get past.
It sounds like, unlike the X-Men that people were, the 20th Century Fox X-Men's that everyone's pissed about, people like the Sony Spider-Mans, I would say. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seems
Well,
to be-
they went into bed with them with Disney.
Yeah, they're
so
okay
Disney has a
with it.
major, and that's another part of it too. Iron Man, he's dead from spoilers. Endgame, and, so he's dead, but he's a big major factor of this movie.
Okay.
Like the kid thought he was like a father figure. Spider-Man did.
Oh, okay.
John Favreau's in it, who was
Director.
Well, yeah, but he's Tony Stark's right hand man in a lot of the
okay.
movies too. So he's got a big part. So it's a lot of Iron Man tie.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
we're giving the thought of a universe.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
they're
cool.
part of it. So, which if you saw X-Men: Dark Phoenix, they're not part of any of it. Yeah. Now, the next one I know you're not a fan of, and you won't watch
This
it
is
'cause
one of the-
despite Salmon Girl.
Yeah.
I watched it. And have you seen it yet?
So this is
I'm
one
on
of the reasons
episode
why
5 out
she
of
wanted
8.
to be on here today. Was
Okay.
the show she wanted to talk
Well, I
about.
said, is Steve talking about Stranger Things? I'll come on and talk about Stranger
Yeah.
Now, here's a funny thing. Now, my daughter makes fun of us all, me and Michelle, because we're old and fudgy. And
Okay.
the Stranger Things come out July 4th. We asked Holly likes Stranger Things. Are you going to watch it with us? You guys are too old and too slow.
Oh, yes.
Well,
yes.
what one thing old people do is we get up early.
Oh, okay.
So we were up at 7:30 and started binging at 7:30
Oh, you banged
We
it out on
finished
her.
the show before her. You know what that little turd did? She woke up at 10:30, which she never does, but she heard us. And so she got in her bed and grabbed her iPad, started streaming, trying to catch up with us. And she was fast forwarding parts.
She was skipping things
Yes.
to try.
Well, then she played off, said, "Well, this season just ain't as good as the other two." So I was like, "You just tried to beat," but we still beat her binging. So if there's one show we
man.
beat the 15-year-old at
There
binging.
you go.
Season
I don't
three
know how
Stranger
proud I
Things.
should be of
Oh,
watching
really?
8 hours of any show.
So what
but-
is, I guess, going around to you guys? Heather loves Stranger Things season
Yes.
1 and 2. You love Stranger Things 1 and 2.
I won't say love, but I do like them. They're a little overhyped.
What is your opinion on the season 3, having watched it all and watched most of it?
Having watched it all, I don't know Heather's take, but mine is it's probably my favorite season out of the 3.
Wow, okay.
I
That's
would
big
say
words. Heather also
That's
said
big
that it
words.
kind of feels like it should wrap up.
I'm also not. I'm not finished with it. So what I told Charles is
You didn't
usually
wake
when
up
you
at
get
7 a.m.
usually when you get a show and you get so many seasons out of it, and it's like a horror / sci-fi, you're like, how many times can this monster come back?
Yeah.
So far in season 3, it makes sense that it's still back. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
way
Well-
that they have it come through season 2 and the way that they have it released and stuff like that, and how like
You're
their
down with how they're
explanation
doing it, yeah.
for why it's still there makes sense. So I just question, I don't know how it ends yet, if they are able to still make it make sense.
Somewhat. They
For
end
season
up
4.
a little bit of a cliffhanger, so there is going to be a season 4.
Okay.
Now, in an interview,
Do you think that that's pushing it? What's your opinion?
they should stop after 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So kill it after 4.
Well,
for sure.
now I've read an interview with the creators of the show that they've only from the beginning only wanted 4 seasons.
Okay.
Now the kids
Well,
are
that makes sense though, because then that makes sense that they have a well thought out storyline
Yeah.
for
To
why.
arc it to
yeah,
the
to
fourth,
arc it to
yeah.
the 4th one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're stretching a little into the 4th, but it's pretty solid how
Are
it
the
ends.
kids getting old? Is that what you were going to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. Well, they're
they
14 or
incorporate
15 in
that,
this
I
one.
think.
And you figure it's 2 or 3 years. They're going to be probably near the end of high school by the time the
It's time
4th
to
season.
wrap it
And
up.
yeah, and just wrap it up there. I mean, and how many times can the same thing happen to a little podunk city in the middle of Indiana? It's like,
So
that
let
is-
me
that is
ask
a
the
little
question:
suspect.
Is this the Netflix show for you and Heather? I think it is for Heather.
I'm trying to think right now.
Name me a show that's better, I guess would be my question.
From
Orange
Netflix?
Yeah, Orange is the New Black first few seasons were better, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
not now.
Yeah, I haven't even
Lot-
gone back
lot-
to finish Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
A lot of
nailed
people
on
like Ozarks, but Ozarks isn't better than Stranger Things. Stranger Things is the best.
I watched the
Yeah.
first season of Ozarks and didn't think it was better than
It-
Stranger
the
Things.
problem with Ozarks, you watch that and go, that's Breaking Bad 2.0. So
Yeah.
that's the only problem with the
Because
Ozarks.
BV even had that same opinion.
Even Stranger Things is, even though Stranger Things is just Goonies with a
I was gonna
horror
say,
thing.
isn't it
It
Goonies?
is.
Yeah,
with a
pretty
horror?
much. But the reason I like this season the best is they took characters. Like in the second season, there's a character named Billy. He really didn't do anything. He was just an older brother that smacked his little sister around. And in this one, he actually does. Every
They flesh
character,
him out a little bit.
Yeah.
every character in this season has something to do, and they're not all together all the time. So there's like 4 groups.
So it's no longer like a band of kids.
Yeah,
all the
so
time.
the,
They kind of
couple of them
fracture.
are looking into this, and then at the end, all 4 come into one,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
So it's really good writing. The only couple of things I'd knock it on, and this is minor. I still hate Millie Bobby Brown. I wish she'd died in a train wreck. But not just because
I don't mind her.
they're gonna push that kid everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in everything. It's annoying.
Wow.
Drew Barrymore 2.0 coming, and it's annoying. But anyways, besides that fact,
I think it's just because they push her as being like, and I get it that the 11 character is the one that like started it all, but like all of the characers are good.
Yeah.
So like as
Give
far as
everyone
like
their time kind of thing.
yeah, but
Yeah.
outside of the show, you would swear there's no other kid actors
Yeah.
in the show
Oh.
because that's all they talk about is her. It's annoying.
and all of them I think are really good.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
single one.
I would agree. And but what was the saying? There's a couple things I did like. It's called the Mind Flare in this one. That's the main monster thing. I don't know. I don't want to ruin anything.
You
for
can ruin it. It doesn't bother me.
I'm
when
not
people
going to
give
ruin
us-
the ending, but
Yeah.
the Mind Flare. It's this giant monster. You've seen it. It's in season 2. That big black.
Yeah,
thing.
no, where I'm all the way through where they like get attacked at the hospital.
Yeah,
so
some
like
of
I
the
know what it
CG
is.
is a little questionable.
Oh, okay. You think budgetary? It was...
Well, it's not.
Netflix should be pouring money into that.
Well,
show.
they do. It seems like the CG doesn't look bad till like the last episode. They fight it in a big mall
Oh.
that's well lit.
Looks a little whack.
It
Huh?
lo- Not terrible, but at the same time, some of it looks a little questionable. And the other thing is the product placement and the oh my god, we're the '80s, aren't we awesome?
Yeah. I kind of like the oh my god.
I
we're
know
the
I
80s
like
are
it
real.
too, but they really pump the '80s music. Like every scene's got an '80s
Oh
song.
yeah, it does.
Even Jim Hopper, Leroy Brown song comes on, he's singing to that. It's like,
But I kind of like the
any
way that Jim
shit.
Hopper's running around in the like the what's his face with the Hawaiian shirt and the jeans, the Tom Selleck.
Oh, Magnum PI.
Magnum PI, like
Tom-
he's running around in his
Yeah.
Magnum PI gear the whole time. I like stuff like that. I think
And
it's funny.
Well, I don't know what episode it is. It might not be. It's a whole segment on New Coke. So here they are. Like you've always complained about this in movies.
Yeah.
Everything's going to shit. There's
Yeah.
a giant monster chasing.
But we're
them.
going to argue over the
Yeah,
formula.
and the
Coke.
little black kid's drinking a new Coke. You know, he's drinking a lot of them. And they're like, "You really like that?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's good." So they go into a whole 3-minute segment on new Coke.
Okay.
I was like, "Okay,
End of the world is here.
Yeah, it's like let me plug this nostalgia here. A
well,
little
we were
bit.
also talking about we were at Kroger today, and they had the old packaging on the Doritos, and Charles was like, "Didn't it have the clear?" And I was like, "It did because they had this whole thing where they were eating the Doritos, and it was in the
Speaking of
old
that,
bags."
let me derail your conversation. I was telling Heather about how our mom used to eat Doritos.
You didn't know about that?
I didn't know.
Ask my dad.
Yeah,
he rips
so-
on it continuously.
Talk about it, Steve. I told Heather this. I was like, dude, old school Dorito packaging. They got the retro package. It looks really cool. Didn't have the open, like you said, the clear cellophane in the front, but they nailed the packaging. And I said to her, I go, doesn't remind me of my childhood because
My mother would sit and watch TV with a Pepsi or a beer, whichever time of day it was. I'd get a giant bag of
debatable.
Doritos
Yeah.
and lick the cheese and then put them on the edge of the couch. And then when she was done, she'd take all the soggy chips and throw them back in the bag, seal the bag up, and throw them on top of the fridge.
So gross.
None of us ate Doritos in the
Dude,
house.
I'm telling you. I told you.
So
this.
gross.
My dad makes fun of that continuously.
Is that why you're so addicted to Doritos? Because you were
I love
just deprived
Doritos.
as a kid?
There's a handful of things that just
Well, we would get
scream-
like the Meyer brand Dorito. Mom would eat the good ones, and
Yeah.
we get those no name ones with like the barely any powder cheese
Dude,
on them.
I to this day, you sit me down with a bag of Doritos,
Really?
and the other thing is cinnamon twists from Taco Bell. Those are two things that like I could just eat constantly. Yeah, can't get enough of them. But anyway, so Stranger
Soggy
Things
bag.
season 3, big thumbs up. A lot of '80s nostalgia.
My favorite.
It's all over Target. We were noticing Target, and when we went to Target a few
it's-
times in those cities.
Well,
it
like
was-
I put in the notes, the first week, this has been since then. By midweek last week, first 6 days, it's got 40 million views.
which is funny because they normally don't release views
but they
except
knew
when it
that
was
one-
banging.
Yeah,
that's
one
funny.
They knew it was going to
Very
be banging.
popular show. I won't watch it. Just to
I
annoy
mean,
Heather.
if
You
like-
would like it, but you just hate when I say you're gonna.
I know
The
you're doing it
fastest.
despite her. You know what'll happen is like 10 years from now, we'll be sitting here and Charles will be like, you know what I watched the other day? It was pretty good. I watched Stranger Things. I had it on.
You know what I
Blu-ray.
did? Let me do that to you real quick.
Okay.
On the flight, I watched The Green Book. Oh my God, that movie is fantastic.
Is that one Viggo Mortensen,
Yeah,
right? I told you that was a great
fantastic
movie.
Fantastic movie.
It is a good
You are
movie.
correct. Very fantastic.
It's a
movie.
great the fried chicken scene. He's like, "How do you
Yeah.
people know you gotta eat the chicken?" He's, like,
He's
so
throwing
fat.
it back to me.
The guy's like, "Do you have any utensils?" Anyways, Green Book was great, but
So
Stranger
go watch
Things,
The Green Book. Yeah.
Season 3, I like it. Holly didn't like the Russians, the Russian angle,
But
she
you
doesn't-
have to have that for an '80s movie.
Yeah, of course, Cold War. So she doesn't get that.
That that time frame is just probably lost on her.
Yeah.
We'll visit this back when you finish, and let me see what you think of the ending. I don't want to ruin it for you, so I'll be quiet. Now, another thing I ate, unbeknownst to me,
We did too.
Charles and Heather also ate it. We tried the KFC Cheeto sandwich.
Big thing. It's all over social media, according to Heather. She ran into a student of hers when she was picking up the Cheeto sandwich who was in there just because he saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, a former student. And I was like, I'm
That's who
just
they're
getting
going
this
after.
Cheeto sandwich.
They're going after the Hollies, the Christophers,
Yeah.
her students. They want them to
Yeah.
eat that. Now, full disclosure, the one I ate, the girl drenched mine in that orange Donald
What
Trump
is
sauce.
that sauce, dude?
It's liquid Donald Trump.
Yeah.
She put it, I mean, mine was just dripping in that stuff.
Ours wasn't. Ours was just like a little drizzle.
It looks like to me, so they took a regular patty that you'd get on a regular normal bun and dip it in that sauce.
Yeah.
And they put a little mayonnaise and then they put it on there with a couple Cheetos, proper Cheetos on top of it. Is that what we're assuming is
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
sandwich? Yeah. It tasted kind of like nothing. I don't know.
I did think it tasted like Cheetos, but I think it's just because there was Cheetos
It
on
was
the
extra
bottom.
crunchy. Yeah, I don't get
It's
it.
a gimmick. They're trying to get 15 to 18-year-olds in there to buy. I mean,
It wasn't super salty. That was the one thing Heather and I were talking about with the Doritos taco at Taco Bell. I don't like the way they taste.
I don't like them either. I like Doritos, and I don't like those tacos.
Yeah, I don't know what it is
My
about
daughter
that taco.
loves them, though. I don't know.
It's like taking a thing
Pure
of salt
salt,
and just
yeah.
ugh. But it was just kind of like okay. Like I said, I told Heather it's like a 6 out of 10 for me. I don't know.
Yeah, well, mine was a 5 because mine was coated and dripping.
Yeah, wow.
See, maybe if I get one without so much cheese sauce all over it, I don't know what that girl's like. But this fat guy wants some cheese sauce. I was like, Jesus.
I get it.
That's college. They gave me wet wipes when I bought it.
Wow.
The
We
girl's
didn't
like,
get
you want
wet
some wet
wipes.
wipes? I was like, Jesus, how much you put on there?
Well, you also got the box, and you said they put it on everything in the box.
If you get
We
the
just
Cheeto
got
box,
a sandwich.
They put that sauce everywhere.
They just coat the box.
So if they cut the Cheeto sauce back, I would give it maybe a 6. But right now I'm at a 5. And Heather, what were your final thoughts on the Cheeto?
I might give it a 7 because I said I'd give it a C.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was
I was
too
kind
right
of.
there.
How much was it? Like $3?
I didn't even pay attention. So yeah,
Jeez,
probably.
The
white
box
people.
was like $8, $8 or $9.
$8. So
Yeah.
probably about $3-4. I just get a spicy chicken from Wendy's. It's 10 times better.
Yeah. Or you can go to Chick-fil-A.
Don't go to
No,
Chick-fil-A.
don't go to
Just
Chick-fil-A.
love doing that every time. I love that reaction. Now, this guy is back on Netflix because Netflix, the one thing
Yeah.
I will argue most of their content is very, but besides Stranger Things, but they do pump out some stand-ups and they love them.
Well, he also has a
Aziz
great-
Ansari right now is back
Yeah,
on
so
Netflix.
Aziz, who played Tom Haverford on Parks and Rec,
Yep.
he also is on Masters of None on Netflix, which was Heather and I one
I
of our
do like
favorite
Masters
shows
of
on
None,
Netflix.
yeah.
I like that show. I did not like this stand-up though.
I
so
didn't see it.
he's back from. It's basically Aziz Ansari's apology tour.
Oh, is that what this
It's
is?
super like, it's just kind of like annoying. Like the whole time he's waiting for you to like accept him again. It's so hard to describe. I just didn't like first of all, it's shot really weird. It's in this weird like studio hall thing. He's got a dude on the stage with him pointing a camera in his face. The audio is all over the place. Heather was complaining about the audio, and I'm usually deaf. He's whispering at one
He
point,
goes from
screaming at another.
whispering to screaming.
And it was... Yeah,
And so, like, at the end of the day, he's funnier typically to me. Like, his previous stand ups were 10 times funnier. But, like, again, it was like his apology tour. It was the hardest thing to explain. Like, you have to watch it to see. He talks about how times have changed. He talks about how he felt bad for making a girl feel uncomfortable. I felt bad for liking Aziz Ansari for watching this. It didn't do it for me. I can't.
maybe he should have went the Kevin Hart route and just not even addressed it and just
kept it moving. Just be funny. You know what I mean? Like,
Because
and-
no one...
I was gonna say he didn't come out of that looking that
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, most people think that it
I-
was just
I-
a bad date that didn't go right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what his didn't seem like he had done anything super wrong. It just was a bad date, like you said. Like things went poorly, and then
And you're a female saying this.
I am a female saying this.
So-
Well, Michelle agrees. She agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems to be like that's the way that most of the news like outlets reported
And
it.
Netflix didn't give up on him. They gave him a stand-up
Yeah.
special.
Yeah,
so
so-
I don't know if they're looking at this as like his mea culpa for what he went through or what. It struck a weird nerve for me. I did not like it. So yeah, avoid actually.
Yeah, I didn't like
if
it
you're
either.
curious about how the situation went down or like you kind of want to see where his career went, you watch it. But other than that, like I usually love Aziz, but not this one, man.
All right, stay away from Aziz.
That sounded like a disease.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit of sports off season. I know Heather's really eager about
I'll just
this
kind of
one.
hang out over here.
Well, you may know one of them. You won't know Glover Quinn. He was a big safety for the Lions.
Yeah.
10 years in, he has retired.
He's a big deal in Lions football.
Yeah,
actually.
so he's one of the secondary for the Lions. He will not be back next year.
Jared Lorenzen retired or died? What do
He
you?
died.
Dude, he
yes.
was a big boy.
Now, there was a guy
Was he
in
from Kentucky or Duke?
It was Kentucky. Now, imagine if Charles was a quarterback in college, but he probably had about 50 pounds. Maybe it was me. Maybe if I was a quarterback in college. He actually was pretty decent.
What
he
did
had
he
an
die
arm. That heart complications, infection, and something else.
Okay.
The family hasn't come out completely and said what it was, but he went to the hospital for almost a week and a half and then ended up dying. So the hefty lefty who played for the New York Giants for a while as a
Yeah,
backup.
he made it into the pros.
And
I know
then he was
did.
in the.
He had like a weird number, like number 22 or
yeah,
something.
and then he went to the Arena League. I saw highlights of him in the Arena League. He had to be every bit of about 380 pounds.
Wow.
And he's dead at 38 years old. R.I.P.
Jared Lorenzen. Yeah.
Jared Lorenzen. So I was interested.
I definitely recognized the name as soon as you put it on there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is probably the last of the NBA news because it's finally wrapped up.
But it's not, because they're saying that Paul George is going to get dealt somewhere else.
Well, yeah, that's been up in the air. But Brian Westbrook might go to the Houston Rockets. I didn't have a chance to put that on there. He is going to maybe possibly go to the Rockets and be re-teamed up with Harden.
It already is a given, isn't it?
I don't know if it was for sure or not. But,
Okay, but yeah, they're saying that he goes there, and then
the big one we didn't get to cover because you guys were gone last week. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George went to the Clippers. So LeBron got caught holding the empty bag, and Kawhi was like, "I'm out, peace." Well, it really didn't make much sense because from what I understand, Kawhi Leonard and LeBron in the same position. So why would you want them both on the same team?
I've chronicled this weeks over weeks now. How do you follow this league? It's unbelievable. Like, at the end of the day, it's worse than like college football recruiting at this point. Like,
it's slowing down now because it's most
the
of
big names are landing.
You got Westbrook and Paul George. After that, it's pretty much going to die down. And Boogie Cousins and Rondo went to the Lakers to go with LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Well, who was the number 2 guy from the Rockets? Because that's what they said. He was going to Oakland, to OKC, and then Westbrook was going to Houston. Who was the guy?
KCP, Chris Paul.
Yeah, and they're saying he's going to get dealt from OKC.
Yeah, because OKC's they're collecting draft picks and canning everybody.
I just don't get it.
Some teams do that.
So good luck to anyone who bought season tickets. You know
if
what
you're
I mean?
Kansas
Like,
City or Oakland.
Yeah, you don't know what product you're going to look
Oklahoma.
at. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to look at junk product.
Yeah,
It's just,
they're-
I just don't get it.
They're going to be like the Tigers. No one's going to be there. They're building for the future. So speaking of unwatchable, I've been watching a little wrestling still.
Yeah, I see.
Now, there's a thing called the Bullet Club. This is your boy AJ Styles, and there's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
I don't recognize any of those names.
I know. But
I
when,
recognize AJ Styles.
when they were in Japan wrestling, they were almost like an NWO type group.
Okay.
Or DX, I guess you could say.
Okay.
There's 3 of them. So they reunited on Raw, thinking, oh, they did this 2 weeks ago when you were gone. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be awesome. They're gonna get the Bullet Club. We might get something like
Some
DX,
edge.
man.
Some
Yeah.
edge, yeah.
They promptly all 3 of them lost. They had 3 versus 1 guy, and the one guy beat all 3 of them. I was like, what the hell's the point of this? So yeah, and Rey Mysterio's back from retirement injury. Nobody cared. He came out. Nobody cheered.
Well, because if he's back from injury, can he do like his aerial maneuvers that
he
he's
can.
known for?
But then they brought Bobby Lashley out and pissed on him in 30 seconds. So he's like Kurt Angle of last. Remember when I was bitching about Kurt Angle? They bring him back. All he does is lose. Now that's going to be Rey Mysterio this year.
Great.
Yeah. And that other notes. Now there was one other note I didn't put. AEW had another pay-per-view last night.
Oh, they did? Okay.
I didn't watch it. I think people are starting to catch up with us.
Okay.
Because
They're
even the
finally
internet,
turning on them a little
they're like,
bit.
I know it's new, but it was 4 hours long from what I understand.
Whoa.
And a lot of people didn't like it. It was like,
Finally, because you said we were way off base with the fans before.
Yeah. Fighter Fest, the one before, everyone loved, and me and you were like, this is garbage.
And what am I missing?
Yeah, so this one, even they had Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes versus the Young Bucks.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't even like that match. It was like 30 minutes long.
Okay.
Everything was just way too long. The crowd was leaving near the end. So
okay.
some of the luster from AEW is wearing
Finally, they're getting with us.
Yeah.
But like that first one, you had momentum and you're squandering.
Yes, and then but Jim Ross came out and said most likely it's going to be Wednesday night.
I think this is smart. This
TNT.
goes against no one, correct?
Yeah, no one.
Smart move. I think just you can compete with them, but you don't got to go directly against them. You know,
So
I think it's smart.
they're going to stay on Wednesdays on TNT. So So now you can watch Conan on TBS. Or wait, and then you watch AEW on TNT. So you got some reasons to watch the Turner
stuff,
networks. There you go. Now we're going to go into some rapid fire because wrestling is just that bad.
No, I can talk again.
You can talk again. We're going to ask your opinion on some stuff. Yes, no, or what. Most of these you should know. Not too many out of the nowhere on this one this week. First in movies is Stuber with Dave Bautista and the Indian dude from...
Yeah. He actually talked about Conan. He stood Conan up. Did you see that whole thing? Yeah, it's pretty funny. He was stuck on the set of Silicon Valley and couldn't make it in time.
Now, this movie did look kind of funny to me.
It did. It looked pretty funny.
The reviews came out and trashed it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to wait for DVD, so I'm a no on Stuber.
Okay.
Heather?
I would check it out if it was like, streaming somewhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to the movies for it.
It's funny. You should just say, I would have said yes. It looked funny.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, man.
Now, it could be one of those ones where the reviewers trash and the crowd still likes it.
Because I got news for you. I already shit on Heather wanted to see the new Lion King. Reviews are not coming out too hot for that one either.
But they say it's beautiful, though. It's just...
I would still probably go see it, I think.
Yeah.
I think
I
The
am
Lion
going to see
King
it,
is
so-
one of the movies that, like, and I talk about seeing the original Lion King, like, on the screen when the sun comes up and stuff. Like, seeing that on a big movie screen. I want to see that in the live
It's
action.
mostly critics ripping Lion King, but a lot of people are good.
But everyone's ripping Stuber is what you're saying.
Yeah, Stuber was pretty good.
Oh, man.
Now, the next one, this was actually produced by Sam Raimi.
This is the one we just talked about.
Yes, this is alligators eating people. I want to see. I'll see it at the dollar
Steve,
show.
I'm Team Alligator shirt.
Right now, I'm Team Alligator, but I'm going to wait for the dollar show. Crawl, no, but dollar show. Heather?
I am not seeing this movie. When I watched the preview, I remember rolling my eyes
it looks
at
like
it.
it looks like great bad. It's like so bad it's going to be great.
It might be like Snakes on a Plane type
Yes.
thing.
I
Yeah,
gotta pour one out. My boy Joe, Barry Pepper's on
Oh,
this.
yeah.
He looks just like Joe. I don't want to see this movie, but R.I.P. Joe.
So new on Blu-ray and digital. Now this week, funny note, I'd never seen the original Pet Cemetery.
Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Okay.
Okay.
Heather
So
is-
you know,
Heather
that is
shitless
one of
right now.
the, like,
Wow.
So I'm going to watch this new one. So I'm a yes on
John
Pet
Lithgow,
Sematary.
handful of people in it.
Yeah. And Heather?
I'm going to see it.
Oh.
I want to watch it.
Horror movie, I'm a no.
Ooh.
Horror movie suck.
Next one is Little. This is I think the
girl from
off
Blackish.
It's
she
basically her
wrote
version
this.
of Big.
Yeah.
I'm a no. I don't want to see this, Heather.
I'd watch it with Lorna one day, like streaming. It looks cute.
I'll watch it on HBO when it comes out.
Yeah, like
I guess
that,
I'll
something
wait.
like that.
So no on Blu-ray, I guess.
Now this Teen Titans is the one that was on the DCU app. They released the whole first season on DVD.
This is the gritty one that they're swearing and stuff.
So if they're
like
gonna start doing this, why get the app when I can just rent the Blu-rays?
Yeah.
I'm a yes. Of course, superheroes I'm in, so I'm a yes.
I'm a no.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see if it's any good. I'll listen for your review if you do check it out. So if it's good, yeah, maybe.
And this next one, I'm actually going to buy a copy of it. I love.
Oh,
this
then I'll
movie.
borrow it from you.
Shazam. I'm a yes. Levi
Zachary Levi.
I always get his name backwards, but I'm a yes. I enjoyed the show.
I thought it looked cute when it was in the
Yeah.
theater. Like, I wanted to see it when it was in the theater. We just never did. So I'm a yes.
I'll borrow Steve's copy.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think you should go and rent it though.
Yep. All right, on streaming, the Point Blank. This is Anthony Mackie and the other guy from Captain America. I'm not. It's an action buddy cop movie. It got terrible reviews because it's a Netflix movie. Shocking. I'm a no because Netflix has burned me enough. Heather?
No.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
know
a
what it was.
I'm gonna go with what? No, I guess it sounds like.
Now this next one, Taco Chronicles. This is
looks
a guy.
great.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm talking
we
about?
just
Yeah,
talked about it
we
yesterday.
were talking about it.
Oh, so you know a guy.
We will be watching this. I'll have
Yeah,
a review
literally
forthcoming.
last night I said, I got 2 shows for you.
Yeah.
Taco Chronicles.
Taco Chronicles.
So
and
it's a guy
Blow.
who just tries tacos across the country,
Dude,
right?
I'm in.
Yeah. Well, first one should be on there is the Burger King taco. He should he should have to eat. I'm a yes, actually. I'm gonna eat. I will eat tacos, but I'm gonna watch the Taco Chronicle. Heather.
Yes.
And I'm a big yes on the Taco Chronicles. She showed it to me and it looked great.
Now this next one is on Hulu. Heather don't get to see it because she never gets to see Handmaid's Tale because Charles canceled on her.
No, I'm gonna sign up and like binge watch the whole like last
Difficult people. This is Billy Eisner.
Yeah, I
and
know
you know
what
who
it
he
is.
is,
Yeah, I
and
know
I don't
exactly
know the
what
other
the show
girl.
is. There's-
You know what it is?
Yes.
Okay. It looked kind of funny.
We
from
tried
the
to
previews.
watch the
We
first
tried to
season.
watch it. Yeah.
You mean tried?
We started watching the first few episodes and didn't dig it.
Oh. Well, you just killed my curiosity, so I'm a no. Heather.
season. I'm a no. We watched
Yo,
the first one and it was
nope.
It was
Nope,
not difficult people. It was like annoying people.
Yeah.
Like you hate them.
Yeah.
And finally, Blown Away. Is that the Glass thing you were just watching?
I just watched the first episode. Really good show.
I'll probably hear the highlights from Charles. I'm a no. I'm not going to watch it.
I'm a yes. I like the sword one that we
Forged
watched,
in
Forged
Fire
in
is a
Fire.
great
So I'm
show,
assuming it's
yeah.
very similar.
Yeah, and then I already watched the first episode. Review forthcoming next week.
Man,
Blown
I was
away.
out fat kid floating all by myself in the pool, and you watched the show without
And
me.
finally, on games, Penn and Teller has a PS4 VR
What is
game.
this?
I guess you're part of their magic tricks. Like you're the one sitting there holding the glass
that's
and a
kinda
bullet
neat,
hits you.
yeah.
So look kind of. I don't have
How much money
PlayStation.
is it? Would be my question.
Most of these are like $20. Most of these VR, and the very few VR games are more than $20, $20 to $30. So I'm a no. I don't have VR. So Heather,
I would say it would be fun if you got it to like have us all play it because I like watching people's
Depends on-
reaction with the VR thing on.
My point would be I would be a yes if it's under $15.
or just rent it from Family Video. That'd be my
that's it.
suggestion.
You can do that as well.
Now, Dragon Quest is a huge role-playing game that has like a Japanese anime look to it. It's been around for years.
Got those green blobbies in it, right?
Yeah. This is a Dragon Quest Builder 2. So basically, it's Mario Maker. You can make your own role-playing game.
Okay.
I don't like these time-consuming role-playing games, so I'm a no. Heather, will you play Dragon Quest Builder?
No,
You're not? Okay,
No.
I'm shocked.
I never played Dragon Quest. I know of them, and to your point, they're well thought of. So I'm sure this game is going to be gangbusters for those folks. But I'm a no.
Yeah. I think it's for Xbox too, but I know for a fact it's PS4 and Switch. Skulls of the Shogun Bonafide. Now, I played this game. This was a downloadable game on Xbox. It was like $10. It's a strategy game, real-time turn-based strategy. You're basically a bunch of shoguns that died and went to hell, and you're like little skeleton dudes wearing samurai outfits. And it's a lot of fun. I played through the whole game. I liked it. It's out for the Switch. If you like turn-based, you'll like it, but I've already played it, so I'm a no. Heather?
nah.
Yeah.
It sounded interesting, but I'm a no. I know turn-based has got Steve all about
Yeah,
it.
and this is one of the few I actually enjoyed. So there you go. There's a look at Rapid Fire. And unfortunately, Stuber is getting crapped on at the theater. So
Aw,
we'll all go to
poor
the dollar show
Stuber.
and see it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then, Charles, what is happening in the world? I know one that happened, but go ahead.
What do you mean? You know that
Holly
Uriah.
Holmes got beat, didn't she?
Oh, that was the week before.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were
Amanda
here, yeah.
Nunez beat up on her. We missed that week, but yeah, this is just from the fight night from last night. I was just picking up on this. So Josh Emmett KO'd this Mersad big something Polish. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, a lot of quick
Belt kick?
fights. It happened out of this. So this was a UFC fight night. It
Belky?
actually took place in Sacramento, California.
Belt kick.
Belky Bartakama. It's in the island of Mykonos.
No wonder he lost. He's like 60 now, isn't he?
Yeah. Bronson Pinchot just didn't hold up.
Look at the names on this list. What's that one? Uriah Faber?
Uriah Faber, who's actually a
man.
UFC Hall of Famer. You probably recognize him. He's the guy with the butt chin. He's been around forever. He's 40 years old and UFC Hall of Famer. He whooped up on this guy immediately.
Is he the one that came out with the California?
Yeah, he's a big
yeah.
California guy. That's why the crowd went nuts. This was in Sacramento, so everyone was going nuts.
It was a
for
quick
him.
one. I watched the whole thing because I was just in
Ricky
here pulling
Simone,
towels.
he dropped him immediately. I was like, wow. So it sounds like he's going to be back in full swing. So that could be interesting as a 40-year-old. Something about like these Randy Coutures and like these old school guys just can't let it go. You know what I mean? They're in there until they're 60.
They have
like-
brain damage. They beat Salmon Jerky and they're ready to fight.
Yeah, dude. And then the big one was, and Heather saw this Germaine de Randamie, who's like she's a French kickboxer. She's also from the Netherlands. She whooped up on this Aspen Ladd chick. First of all, she was like a foot taller than her. I don't know how the hell they ended up making the same weight class or whatever. But anyway, punched her, dropped her immediately. All these rounds didn't last out of the first round. All three of these fights were pretty quick. So an interesting ESPN fight card. Now, another big fight coming up on ESPN proper next week. Rafael Dos Anjos was going to fight Leon Edwards, which is a big deal. They're two in their weight class, pretty good. And then my usual guy that I rally against and hate him,
Greg
'cause
Hardy.
Greg Hardy is going to fight in Texas, which is why this is kind of a big
That's
deal.
funny. That's a total PR thing.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna
Why
fight
do you
this
hate
guy.
Greg Hardy?
He's a wife beater, and
Oh,
basically he
okay.
got
He's
kicked.
too dirty for the NFL, believe it or not.
Yes.
Oh.
So basically, he became an MMA.
How dirty
fighter.
do you have to be if you can't make it in the NFL?
Lost his first fight by kicking a downed opponent, stuff like that. Like
Oh.
he's shady. I'm not a fan of him.
Then I don't like Greg Hardy either.
Okay, well, there's that.
Side note, there is another MMA news. Did you hear Tito Ortiz is going to fight again?
Against who?
He is fighting former WWE wrestler Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, really? Where?
I guess Alberto Del Rio is 9-5 as a professional MMA guy. But
I gotta be honest with you, I'll take Tito Ortiz.
He's fighting in one of those Golden Boy promotions.
Okay,
the same
that's
one that
what
brought
same did the Liddell thing.
So there's a, and also, did you see what is his name? McDowell. He used to be the defensive line.
McDowell's. They own the store.
No,
I know exactly how this works.
McDowell, I think his name is. He was a defensive tackle for Michigan State. He's in the NFL now. They released a video from Lansing last February. You didn't see that?
No.
There's a cop, like 5'3". The McDowell guy was speeding in the middle of the snow and stuff. Pulls him over to the gas station. They get out. The gas station cameras on them both. This little cop's like, I need you to quit resisting arrest. I need you to get out on your knees. The guy wouldn't do it. He tased the guy. That guy just pulls the taser and starts beating the cop.
Whoa.
But the cop, little 5'3" cop, held his own. Like, took him down. They were going at it. Destroyed. It was like a movie. They destroyed the whole gas station. Stuff was flying. Look it up. It's on TMZ.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
Yeah, look on TMZ, then look at the comments because it's always fun. But,
we just saw the Coast Guard take down that was the
Did
other
you see
video.
that too? The Coast Guard take down that submarine.
Oh yeah, I did. Where
that
the
was
dude jumped
crazy.
out.
Oh my God! I was like, this is a straight up soldier right here,
Makes my
folks.
job look very boring.
So anyway, on the news.
So in the news now, you guys just went to the Amazon store.
We did.
Where you can't really buy products; you can just buy some snacks.
Yeah.
But Amazon Prime Day starts tomorrow and Tuesday. Has anyone seen any good deals?
No.
I mean, I checked this out. I want to say last year, or the year before, because you had Prime and we usually don't have it. And I was like, oh, let me check out this Prime Day. I didn't get it. There was nothing really.
It's
that
like
was,
Black Friday.
It
It's
was
Black
dumb.
Friday. Do you need a TV? We don't need a TV.
Yeah,
in
it
this
was
house.
Well, my thing is they don't
like it.
advertise it well. Like I should.
I don't think they have to though. Do they?
Well, if they want me to buy some. I mean, like a week prior, I should have got an email with all the items.
Steve
that are
wants to be
on sale.
courted.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wine and dine him.
Kiss my cheek at least a little bit.
mean,
So
wow.
smack me on the ass. But you like Black Friday, you said you get the ads like a week in advance. So you look at the
prep
ads.
it up.
Amazon Prime, you don't get nothing. You just go to the site and you click on it and like, okay, what's for sale? And then like she said, most of it's garbage.
Yeah,
But
it's
all you
dumb.
How
hear
many
about,
USB cables could you need?
yeah, it's like, I don't need no RGB lights or anything. I'm good. So, well, I'll look at it tomorrow while I'm at work to see if there's anything
So it
good.
starts tomorrow. Is that-
Tomorrow, yes.
Okay.
The 14th and the 15th. I have Amazon Prime. And what's funny is Walmart and Target are also offering big
Yeah, it's
sales to
costing
combat
the whole
with
thing.
it
Did
and
you
stuff.
watch? Did you happen to watch last week tonight with
Yes.
the John Oliver thing and the expose?
The warehouse
against-
working?
Oh my lord!
I can't believe they're on foot. I thought they had pallet jacks.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But I was like, welcome to my world. I did that shit for 5 years. It was terrible. It's
It
just now
sounds,
news.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's very tech based. Like, dude, I mean, they're down to like the items picked per. Ooh.
I mean,
Farmer
if they
Jack's
can
was
tell
getting
what
me.
I walked out the store with, you don't think they can tell what their employees are picking?
Yeah, that's true.
You took that shit break way too long. I got there.
Pregnant women and stuff like that
Yeah.
is pretty crazy.
Well, the warehouse work. It's not just. I'm going to say, in not defending warehouses because I think it's all shit. Amazon's warehouse isn't the only one that does that. Like Farmer Jack's.
To your
is doing
point,
that
you know
too.
what you're getting into.
Yeah, they were introducing at Cisco a printer thing that sticks to your arm. It tells you go to this aisle, then it prints a ticket out. You take the ticket, stick it in the box, and grab it. So it was all down to the minute too. So you have to hustle.
This isn't just Amazon. Is what
No,
you're saying.
it's all over. It's all over the warehouse industry. It's
tough.
John Oliver needs to open his eyes to the rest of them. Even though I know why he's talking.
We're talking about just McDonald's, but KFC is just as bad.
Yeah. So now I don't know if you caught this news. There's a new Switch coming.
I did. So this is a non-dockable Switch, correct?
Yeah, and you can't take the Joy Cons off either.
It's all
one
hard
piece.
Yeah. What's
Smaller
the price
screen
on it?
too. $200.
$200?
Yes.
Okay.
And the one Holly had was $300. So you might get it. So
An extra $100. Are they going to?
You can't connect it to your TV at all.
Period.
None.
No, there's not even going to be a workaround to it or nothing. So then the other question to you is: are they dropping the price on the OG proper Switch?
No, actually, they're tweaking it a little bit, making it a little better, and leaving the price the same.
What are they by better? You mean a better processor?
Yeah,
or what are we
better
talking?
process. I don't know the exact. I should. That's one thing, but it's gonna have better Wi-Fi, better processor.
So it's a
better
newer, a little beefier model. If you want
inside
to
on the inside. It's gonna look sleeker. I guess they're reducing the
Okay.
size a little bit, but the screen's gonna be the same, but it's gonna process faster.
$300 for that.
Yeah.
$200 for the only portable version.
Yep, it's called Switch Lite. The
Switch Lite. Okay.
And they come in some god awful colors.
It's like
this
a weird
really
lime
yellow-
green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
So
I tell you what, for $200, it's compelling. It's a lot of horsepower in that little unit to be. You know what I mean? Like, you can play some good games on that thing for $200.
they're doing it.
What
I
is your
guess
opinion on it? What do you think?
If I was gonna get it for Holly, I'd spend the extra $100.
Good dockable.
I mean, I might as well at this point. You're going to drop $200. You might as well drop the extra $100 and get the rest of it. And you can get, or you can wait till Black Friday that you love, and you can get like $50-$40 off then. So
You're
it's
coming
like,
close. You're in that
yeah.
ballpark.
So it's like, why bother? So now,
Well, let me ask a question before you pivot away from that. What is like the Switch game in your opinion is? What are the top 3 in your opinion?
well, not for me, but the ones that everyone plays.
Mario Kart.
Well, I don't want to say Mario Kart. I
Oh,
want
what
to
you
say,
got?
A lot of them still play Mario Kart because my kids play Mario Kart.
yeah. Well, I'm just basing on what I hear online. Smash Brothers #1 by far.
Okay.
That's in tournaments. People still play it. They still.
That's okay.
Believe it or not, that's Zelda. That Zelda is still huge.
yeah.
Even if you go to Twitch and check the streaming games, Zelda's
Lot of
still one of
Zelda
the
in
top
there.
one. I want to say Mario Odyssey a little bit more than Mario Kart, but either interchange either way. Those are the top 3 probably right there.
Are they going to have any issue?
Mario Maker's getting up there now.
Is there going to be an issue with not having the ability to dock it? Do you think? Is it, in other words, is it going to nerf certain games or?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I
Every game is going to be compatible between the two of them. You don't need to really dock for anything.
and as you probably know, or even Heather, kids don't give a shit about bigger screens anymore.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
they're all doing it.
Holly's got a TV and she's looking at her phone that's like this
Yeah,
big
it's
all day.
crazy.
So their eyes are good, so they don't got to worry about that shit. So now, along with your Hulu and your Handmaid's Tale, coming out next year, let me gauge how excited Heather is about this. Warner Brothers streaming service is coming out. You know what Warner Brothers owns, don't you?
Friends, right?
Friends. They
Yeah.
own what is the major book series you love?
Dun, 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 dun. Harry Potter.
Yep, they own Harry Potter. They own Lord of the Rings. They own all that stuff, and all this is going to the Warner Brothers streaming service, which is going to be called, which is weird, HBO Max.
Yeah, somehow there was a tie-in because they want to give you HBO with it.
Yeah,
right?
their theory is everyone has HBO now. I think it is whatever. It's $15
That's
a
the
month.
standalone. Yeah.
So why wouldn't you just pay $2 more and get?
Oh,
all
it's
this?
only $2 plus you get all the HBO Now
Yes.
content.
You get-
I would do
that's-
that.
That's pretty good.
Especially since I'm seeing what the other series is. In
Yeah,
your show
these are
notes
the
right
new
there.
ones on here. Warner Brothers is hitching their horse to Dune. I don't know why.
Dune.
Dune.
Stuff at the Mopop was a lot of Dune stuff.
Lots of Dune stuff.
So
They
I think
got
that
a
might be a science fiction
giant-
series we missed.
No, I didn't miss it. I saw it. It was a turd. I didn't like it at all.
When did you see it though? Later in life is what I guess what I would argue.
Randy loves it. He loves Dune.
Later in life.
Yeah, I
that's
think
what I'm telling
it
you.
depends on when you see stuff.
And
a
a lot of
generation
people who
older than
read the books love it.
Okay.
And then the movies, like, they're lukewarm on,
Okay.
but the books, I guess, are supposed to be the thing.
my God.
The books. And but they got a big budget movie, Warner Brothers, coming. And it has Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista. There's like 50 people in this movie. So they're putting big bucks into that. And then they're going to make a new series just for their streaming service, Dune: The Sisterhood. Don't ask me what it's about. It's about Dune
The Sisterhood
somehow.
of Traveling
Sisterhood.
Dune Pants.
Yeah.
I only laughed because when I saw the sister, I was like, "Is it the sister of the traveling pants?"
of Dune Pants.
So what is Flight Attendant with Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang?
Yeah, that's going to be not many
like a-
details, but it's a half-hour sitcom type show. Gremlins is serious. Now, don't get
That's what got me.
well. Wait a minute. Don't get too excited.
Oh.
It's animated. So, if you like cartoons, I like cartoons.
They at the Mopop again. They had a Mogwai like
Oh,
at the
man.
Mopop. Yeah, I'm telling you, that museum was cool.
So they're going to go with an animated TV series. It's supposed to take place before the movies of Gremlins. So it's going to be how that old Chinese guy found Gizmo, and it's supposed to take place.
I would
in that.
check it out. I'd be worried it'd be like Smurfs, if that makes sense, where like they're running around their little
You don't want
Mogwai
Happy,
village.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of stuff, and like you said, they got Friends. They're going to have Parks
For
and
only
Rec. They're gonna have-
$17.99 to have
They're
all that
taking
stuff.
a lot of
that's a
stuff
lot.
away from Netflix.
Parks and Rec goes with them too.
I thought it was. If it's not Parks and Rec, it's it
The
might
Office dropped off of.
be. Office is going to go to the NBC app coming.
That's
out.
got to be
That's
what
dropped
the
off
Parks
on
and Rec
Netflix.
wouldn't go with that.
There's another big series. Oh, Seinfeld. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was an NBC show. I couldn't think of it. So Friends and Seinfeld, which are two big ones for Netflix, leaving, going to Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers strangely owns those.
I wonder how this is going to affect, because I often talk to Charles, like, how my kids rediscover things. So like they'll be like,
Office is huge right now.
yeah,
God,
like
The
my
Office
kids will
is
just be
huge
like,
right now.
hey, did you watch a show called The Office? And I'm like, yeah, I watched it when it was on.
10 years ago.
And they're like streaming it like crazy on Netflix and Friends and you know it from Holly. Like they rediscover these
Full
shows.
House.
Yeah, and I wonder how that'll
George
affect it where it's
Lopez.
all like divided up because it
That's
was
still the
all on
weirdest one.
Netflix.
What are you watching, George Lopez? Pretty Little Liars she's hooked on right now.
Yeah.
Big time into that. Yeah, so they're going to have a lot of stuff. You realize how big Warner and the DC Universe app is going to roll into this too.
For $17.99?
Yes,
Wow,
but the
that's
DC Universe,
decent.
if you don't want all that, you could still get the DC Universe app. You could still get HBO Now also.
But
So
you're
they're
saying
gonna-
$17.99. I get all three?
you get all three,
That's a good deal, dude.
and Cartoon Network's getting thrown in there too. They
a
own
good
Cartoon
Oh,
deal.
Network.
Lorna loves.
So
That's
there's
a
going to
good
be a lot
deal.
of cartoons.
The only thing I have right now is we have the HBO Go, not now, because we only pay $5 extra for the DirecTV. I wonder if there's going to have some kind of time with DirecTV now, because that's all the parent company. I'm interested.
So, and those are just three of the shows. There's a lot more shows if you click that link. Josh Whedon's doing a new sci-fi show for him.
Sounds pretty good.
So they
man.
got a lot of stuff coming with Warner Brothers.
Now, I don't see it on here, but so Jon Favreau came out. He's already doing season 2 of The Mandalorian. Did you guys see that article already? That's for the Disney streaming app that's incoming
From what
as
I
well.
didn't know, The Mandalorian is because we looked this up because we started talking about this Warner Brothers at home, and Holly's looking forward to the Disney one, but I wasn't sure what's going to be there at launch. Mandalorian is. It's going to be there at launch. A lot of the Marvel
This
ones
fall,
are.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Disney already said they're not going to do like Netflix. They're not going to give you the whole series at once.
They're going to trickle it out.
Once a week.
Smart.
Yeah,
I
once a
always
week.
say that. I think that's smart.
what- yeah.
What they're doing with The Mandalorian is going to come out once a week, and by the last episode, the next week, the new Star Wars movie comes out.
Jeez.
That's what they're doing with that one.
I don't know, man. These two services sound pretty compelling. I gotta admit.
I already know I'm getting the Disney. I don't know about the Warner Brothers yet. But
If I can get it tied in with my DirecTV now, I'm listening. You know what I mean? Like if they're gonna work a bundle, like some kind of digital streaming package, I'm listening.
well, nothing's coming until next year, so you got that. Now, these next news I had to put in because of you being Captain Marriott.
Yeah.
The huge data breach.
Yes.
they're
So
being
that
sued
happened-
by the UK. This isn't here.
So
It happened a
I used
while
to-
ago, didn't it?
Hold on, that's a Starwood data breach that happened.
Oh.
Then there was a Marriott data breach. Someone's got to be responsible for this stuff. That's why. So I go through a lot of training now at work. You can't let guests on any back
But
of
the
the house.
lawsuits are just now happening.
Correct. They're just not getting responsible. The biggest one that come out of this, and you hit it up in the second spot, someone's realizing these hotel chains are destroying people with these resort fees and all
Yeah,
this kind
all
of
that
stuff.
bullshit.
That's finally
Why
coming
do I have
to
a
light.
sandal fee?
Yeah,
What
how
is-
does
what
that
is this?
make
I don't even wear
sense?
sandals.
You know what I mean? So it's just the thing is though, it's the biggest hotelier all on the planet. So good luck with $123 million. You think that's going to phase the stock? I got news for you.
No.
You know what I mean? Like. It's good because maybe it'll finally make these companies responsible for some of this stuff, but like,
Or at least tell you about the hidden fees ahead of time.
yeah,
That's
it's-
the number one.
I
thing.
think it's a good thing.
The hidden fee here is here. I think it's the Washington D.C. Attorney General that's suing Marriott.
There's a handful of them.
Yeah,
There's a handful of states.
The
that
data
bond it.
breach was from Europe, so the UK is suing them there, and they're being sued here.
Yeah.
So they got lawsuits everywhere for the Marriott chain. I only bring them up because Charles is part of the Marriott chain. That's why I always bring up Chick-fil-A and Marriott wherever I can,
Yeah.
just to dig it into Charles.
We are not part of the Chick-fil-A chain.
I know. Oh man, that's what your Christmas gift was, a Chick-fil-A gift card.
Is
Now
it going to
this-
be wrapped in plastic?
So this next one, you always hear about everybody wants something new, new IPs. When it comes to movies, when it comes to games, nobody's original. All you do is repump the same crap out. So this is a third-party survey.
Of all time, these are of
last
all
15 to
time
20
every
years.
platform
Last
for the past
15
2 decades.
Yeah. And I just find it funny that if you look at this list, and I will post it on Facebook and on
Look
our
at
show
this
notes.
list. Activision has all of them, but 2.
Yes, Call of Duty on the top 10 has
Was
7.
it Rock Band was Activision too, right?
No,
I thought Activision owned Rock Band. Or Activision owned Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero. Was
Oh.
it. So yeah, with the exception of Grand Theft Auto 5, which for some reason has made like $2 trillion. I don't understand. People love that game. I played the game. I liked it. It was entertaining. But people still to this day play that game. It's a huge game. Call of Duty which gets pumped out every year, and everyone goes, "It's not original. It's just the same shooter crap every year." Well, guess what? All us idiots are buying these games.
Is this in order? Is this
That's in
listed in
order.
order?
Yeah,
So your top is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah. Followed by
Into the Black Ops games? Wow.
Yeah, Modern Warfare, and then, well, this is just on. This isn't units shipped.
This
like,
is loot.
money. That's
is
probably
pure
why Rock
cash,
Band and Guard, because you remember those were expensive. Rock Band was like
You
$100.
had to buy all the
saying.
equipment
Yeah,
that
you
went
had to
along
buy
with
it.
it too. Yeah.
But yeah, and there's another article on there too where it gives you the top selling game every year since 1995 or something like that. It is pretty intriguing to watch. Like through the 90s, of 95 to almost 99 is all Nintendo games, and then after that, 2000 to 2005 is Madden. You'd believe it, Madden outsold everybody, and then it just goes Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto all the way through. So all us modern gamers who want original stuff, you're all full of crap. We all play Call of Duty, and apparently we play a ton of it because that's the top 7 games of this.
They
third
must
parties.
be the number one because they're available on all consoles. So that's why they put
Yeah.
third party. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just third party. So this doesn't include the Marios. This doesn't include Halos and stuff like that.
I'm
But just-
surprised that only Grand Theft Auto 5 cracked that list then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's pretty crazy.
If you click on a link, they also break it down by PS4. Xbox is 9 Call of Duties and 1 Grand Theft Auto. That's all we do on Xbox is shoot people.
That's a pretty crazy list, but man,
I thought you'd get a kick
Activision's
out of
got to
that,
be
yeah.
making some bank.
Now, when you always hear that, what's that guy's name? Bobby Kotick, that
Yeah,
CEO.
from Activision,
when he
yeah.
gets $30 million a year in a check.
Yeah.
You know why? Look at that. It's crazy. So a little look at. So everyone online, it's going, "Oh, I want original IPs." You're full of shit. Everyone buys Call of Duty.
grab a Call of Duty and get in line.
Yeah, I know. Go shoot somebody.
Wow.
There you go. Now this past Wednesday, this is Steve Luck. Who the hell gets a cold? A major
Like
cold.
what kind of cold?
I woke up. I couldn't barely talk. My throat was like I ate
Wow.
sandpaper. My nose was just pouring snot.
In summer, no less.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
had that like headache / wanting to pass out feel all day. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, wow.
It went out for 2 days. I guzzled NyQuil by the gallon, and I'm fine now. But it's just
You
like,
got a legit cold in the summer. That's what you're saying.
who does that happen to?
Wow.
I was like, yeah. So a little bit of a summer cold this past
You think
summer.
you got a theory on where you got it from or anything like
No,
that?
Holly's never been sick. Hasn't been
Anyone
sick.
sick at work? Or
No,
anything?
Randy's been
Wow,
fine.
that's crazy.
It's just out of the blue. I was like,
in the summertime, no less.
yeah.
man.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old and fat. My immune system's
Yeah.
dying. I don't know. Good times. Good times. So anything else you want to add before?
No, that's
Did
it.
you
We're
get-
just back to the usual. Now we're back to the grind.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk this
Some
week.
of us aren't back to the grind.
Yeah, slacker. I was going to talk about my Chevy Bolt. I'm going to hold on until next week. I'll discuss my e-vehicle stuff. I'll have had it for a month, I believe, at that point.
I just realized you left one of our obsessions from our vacation off the list, so you can talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. A show called Instant Hotel, which was pretty good. We were watching a lot of this stuff.
Did they get sued by the Attorney General?
No, this was about people who run Airbnbs, and they had like a competition for who had the best one. It was pretty compelling stuff.
kind of
Is there a
addicted.
competition show you won't watch? This week on the mold elimination series.
Yeah.
If you grow more mold on the side of your
Dude,
sideboards,
telling ya. So,
I swear to God.
anyway, so I'll probably have a little more conversation about getting into a true e-vehicle and all that kind of stuff next week. But we're back on the grind. We're here every week now and stuff
well,
like
not
that.
until the end of the month. Then I won't be here.
Then when are you gone?
The 26th. I'm headed to Philly.
Yeah, for how long are you gone for though?
The Fresh Prince of Bel Air is out. We're going from Thursday or Friday the 26th. We'll be back that Monday or Tuesday.
That's cool. So that'd be
we'll
cool. I'll be curious.
We got
to
that
see.
all lined up.
We loved Philadelphia. I'll be curious to hear your opinion
I
on
think
it.
I'm gonna lie. We got, like I said, I got
Loved
a giant.
it. Is that the only city you're going to, or we got
Yeah,
any
it's
other
just Philly,
stops?
just Philly.
We're driving straight there, huh?
Driving straight there.
Okay.
I've heard it's almost $40 now when you get off that toll road, so that's gonna be fun.
man.
We start crying when you get off and hand that ticket.
Dude, we loved Philly though, man.
We got,
I'm telling you.
Gino's cheesesteak. We got that.
You got to run the Rocky steps. You got to do
Yeah,
that.
we got
too.
that.
Yeah.
The Liberty Bell.
Liberty Bell was
we got
great.
the
Yeah.
penitentiary.
Do the
We
do
bought
the
the city pass, so we got the
Oh,
penitentiary.
a handful of things you can go and
Yeah.
check
Yeah,
out.
and then there's the Constitution Center. We're going to
Cool.
that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to, well, we got to go to the zoo. Michelle just loves animals, so I'm going to be at the zoo. And this
We
is
didn't do the zoo.
We
don't
didn't
have
do the
much
zoo.
family.
fun
Yeah.
fact. Philly Zoo is the first zoo ever in America.
Wow.
So we're going to go to the oldest zoo there is.
The only thing, and I told you this before, Eastern State Penitentiary. Add that to your list. I'm
That's
telling
where
you.
we're
Yeah,
going.
he just said
Yeah,
that they were
I'm
doing
sorry.
that.
Yeah,
When you get a city pass, you can pick 3 attractions. For the 3 of us, it was $150 for the city pass.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. And then you take that pass, you put it out. You can either print it out or leave it on your phone, and then you go and they just scan it. And you can
Oh,
print it.
okay.
So it's like prepaying for the stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing cool about the Philadelphia Zoo, they got a tiger exhibit with the tube. It's just chain link that goes across with a platform, so the tigers can crawl and go up over your walkway.
Oh, that's cool.
It's kind of like that thing Detroit has with the
Yeah.
polar bears, but with a tiger. I'm just hoping the thing don't piss on us.
Oh, yeah.
That'll suck.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be
if tigers
amazing.
did that.
I mean,
I kind of hope the thing pisses on you.
the podcast
good
doesn't work. I got
story,
pissed
dude.
on by an Asian tiger.
That's a pretty good story, dude.
Oh man,
Yeah, that
how long
sounds
would it
fun,
take to
though.
get the piss out of
yeah.
there?
So you're going the last weekend of July, but
Yes,
we'll record
yes.
up until then. And
So
stuff
we'll
like
we'll go to the zoo when it's 110 degrees because that's smart. That's what people do.
None of the animals will be moving.
that. Yeah, they'll just be laying
Now
there.
the other thing I was going to put on a rant. I didn't get a chance to put it on. We went to yesterday. I took one for the team, and with me and Michelle, we went to Michelle and I. Sorry, we went to the Wyandotte Street Fair.
Oh yeah, so a lot of people at work before you get in have been
Everybody loves
talking
it,
to me
yeah.
about this, and I'm like,
Really?
this isn't on my radar.
I don't
know.
get street fairs.
I work with a handful of people that live downriver as a Michigan
big
term.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, my first rant is, why do these things got to be in the goddamn dead of summer when it's 110 degrees out? I was sweating my nuts off.
Steve's like, can I get a fall fair?
Yeah, can we
Let's
early
celebrate the
May
fall, yeah.
or middle of September?
Yeah.
Let's go. But anyways, that's not the point. I appreciate people's hard work in their crafts and their arts. You know,
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
But why are you charging me $200?
$200 for what?
This guy had some art and paintings that were framed. $200. This lady did some woodworking. She had it was just like a little wooden stand. $680 on this. It's like, who's buying this? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, you know who was
You're out
selling
in the sweltering heat.
Yeah,
you
you
want
know-
$700.
You know who
for
was
this.
selling a lot of stuff? The guy selling cake pops, a buck a
Yeah.
piece. He was just handing them out.
That's
left
called
and right.
volume, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
wow.
I don't understand the pricing. And the street fair is weird. It's like some things you can get dirt cheap, and other things, like I said, $200, $680.
What did you guys actually pick up when you were there? Was there good eats while you were kind of walking
I
around?
ate my way around.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Michelle, of course, had to buy some more yard check.
Is this on Biddle because it's in Wyandotte? So
It's on
got
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we parked at that. This is the only thing that kind of sucked. So we had to park at the Wyandotte Hospital across the street, just the parking lot.
we're well aware of the Wyandotte Hospital now at this
yeah.
point.
Well, I parked
Yeah.
across the street from it,
Okay.
and you have to walk about 6 blocks down.
Okay.
Which, not that bad, but when it's 95 out, it kind of sucks. Because all the parking structures from there were sold out, because I knew I drove all the way down there, I had to drive all the way back, then park. Well, Michelle, I got to drop off there, but I had to walk it. But whatever, I needed them.
Get them steps in.
Yeah, I need those steps. And so it's long. It's bigger than the Allen Park one that Kim used to
Yeah.
do. It's probably about maybe a mile long.
Wow.
It's a lot of stuff.
A lot of food stands, though, huh?
Oh, yeah, a lot of food stands.
What's the highlights? Give me the highlights. The
well,
lights.
I ordered a large Diet Pepsi and a personal pizza pocket thing.
Why would you get a Diet Pepsi?
Because he's
with
an
a
asshole.
personal
He does it
pizza?
every time.
Because I can't drink sugary drinks. What the fuck?
But with a pizza pocket, like,
There's no sugar in
carbs.
pizza.
The pocket,
Carbs.
though.
I know, but anyways. Well, first off, it was so tiny. And then it was $11 for those two things. I was like, oh, man. So I got that. And
Well,
then
good desserts. There had to be good desserts. There.
they had a pastry place. I didn't touch it, but
Did it have
they were
lemon bars?
making, you could pick your filling, strawberry, raspberry, or blueberry, or whatever.
Into a
It's like a
donut, or-
pastry, and they bake them fresh there.
Sounds good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And of course, they had the elephant ears, coney
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah, the usual
They had another
carnival
one
there.
where you pick your fruit, watermelon, a pineapple, or cantaloupe, I think.
Blitz it up.
They cut them in half, gut them out, fill it with juice, and then put the pineapple back in
okay.
there. You walk around with that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I can't drink that either. Oh, it looked good. I'll tell you that much.
Cool. man.
Michelle found a candle. This guy makes homemade candles. All right, it was $20, whatever.
Nothing to get in, right? You just walk down the street,
Nah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
The only thing I will say, there's a lot of businesses at that one. Like Ace, the guys who did our installation had a booth there, and
They're just pimping their products.
yeah. Some of them are having giveaways. Some like there was a bank there. Michigan Lottery was there.
Just trying to get that cabbage.
It was probably it was the biggest street fair I've been to.
Yeah?
I mean, still one booth you would have liked. It was a leather booth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there
And
you go.
just a wall of belts. I mean, it
okay.
went from small to Steve size on the
Yeah.
far end, and then he had saddlebags. I don't know who's buying saddlebags. And then another big thing was the thing you put on your belt, and it looks kind of like a gun holster, but it isn't. You can put like a water bottle in it.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you've seen
Yeah.
that. And then he had gun holsters too.
okay.
So that was probably the only booth you would have liked. They had one guy, another woodworking one, where he
Like
made
you said,
these-
I can walk around and appreciate, but like you said,
Yeah,
when
it's all-
I'm not paying you for your time.
Yeah, the one guy had like like really handcrafted hiking sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an affinity towards those. You do.
Yeah, I
want
know. I was
something
like,
memorable.
yeah, but he wanted like $95. I was like, no, I'll give you $10.
Yeah.
Steve's like, I can go outside and pick up a stick.
Yeah, really.
Put a
It's
little
like,
varnish on it, keep it moving. What's the
yeah, I
problem?
know. So the prices just go up and down. Michelle, and she got, of course, more things to stick in her yard because we don't.
Great.
Have
Did you get any more wooden raccoons? From the
no,
wall?
no wooden raccoons. There was no wooden art there, really.
No.
No,
Michelle
there's a lot
didn't
of
know what to
guys.
do.
A lot of guys had their photography there. A lot of guys would do some painting and a lot of art. This is the biggest ripoff, though. This guy, he had scarves, right? And he got a long bathtub looking thing, and he put different colors in it. And you could you buy the scarf,
Dip the scarf.
and dip the scarf with the. He was charging for one scarf. I'm not bullshitting. $95.
Wow. And people were doing it?
Yeah, he had people all around. You could make your own scarf.
Wow.
He did have a deal, I
$95.
think. I don't know what it was. The big ones he had on display were 95, and then he had another deal for smaller ones, 3 for 100.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, but he had people around the booth.
Good for him.
Most of the people that were charging a lot were sitting there by themselves doing nothing. But
Yeah.
that guy was charging a lot.
Bang
And still,
him
yeah.
with the dip your scarf.
Yeah. There's one guy that had a massage booth. Now we're all dripping in sweat. How many
out
sweaty
there
people?
rubbing on people?
Yeah, he had the chair. I was like, oh, that is the worst
And I
one to
bet you those
have.
chubby white ladies are lining up for it too.
Oh, Michelle wondered if she was a dripping sweat. I tell you that much. She loves a good massage.
Oh, I would not want some random dude at a street fair to be giving me a massage.
Well, if it's Oriental, does that make any difference?
No, random dude.
Yeah.
Don't want a random dude at a street fair.
So there you go. And the Humane Society was there. They had like a booth giving away stuff for dogs and cats.
That's
and stuff
cool.
like that. So it was okay. I don't like.
Where did
street
you
fairs.
go?
Saturday.
Oh,
We went
okay.
yesterday about noon, so the sun was right above us.
Oh, wow.
Wow, was it hot? I mean, I was tripping. I was like, Michelle walked by and was like, "Don't touch me." I feel like I jumped in the
Dude,
pool.
you don't want to bump nothing.
Oh
yeah.
my God, it was so hot there. Like I said, that's what was going to be my rant. Why in the middle of summer do they have these things? Just move it. So that's going to do us for this week. You can check us out the podcast on fatguysandlittlepodcast.com and, of course, on Apple iTunes, Google Play, and wherever you can find podcasts. And I would like to thank our guest, Heather.
You're welcome.
Oh, man.
Big reach for us.
Yeah,
I know.
had to
Usually
look
I'm
far
just,
to get this one.
the other room over.
Yeah, and, of course, Charles. And we will
Right.
catch you next time. Have a good one.